You've got the look in your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You've gotta rise to the challenge. Show 'em what you got. Step up and take what's yours. You are kings now, Clash of Titans.
Three, two. Hey everyone, Tornado Tag Podcast. We do got a lot to unpack tonight, so we're gonna dive into it. We got some people on the phone. We're gonna talk some Bobby Heaton. We got
Bobby Heaton.
Bobby Heaton. He's the Heaton. We got the full Murder My Dude cast. So you have Brian and his partner here.
Well, his partner.
His partner.
Really?
Tag partner. It's wrestling reference. It's a wrestling reference. It's partner.
Oh,
He holds the tag rope at night.
There you
Yeah, as long as someone holds the rope, because if you don't hold the rope, then
I get mad when people don't hold the tag rope.
yeah, it's problems. But if you like what you hear, you can definitely support us. We do have a merch page. You can check it out in the links below. PayPal as well if you don't want to buy merch and you just want to support us. All of the links below will also cover everything we're talking about. So before we get any news, I know we do have a little bit of a thing here, but we're gonna bypass that right now, and we're gonna bring in our guest on the phone today. We got the True Wrestling, right, champion?
Yes.
True Wrestling heavyweight champion, the Chubby Daddy on the phone. What's up, brother?
You know, doing good. It is the DOTG, the DAWBY of the galaxy. How we doing, fellas?
Good. Thank you so much for calling in. So this is hopefully going to be a weekly thing for us. So we have some local talent calling in and get to know them a little bit and find out some of the promotions they wrestle for and some of the things they've been getting into. So we can share that spotlight on some local talent in our area. Because the big thing that we're trying to do here is we're not only trying to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with the major organizations, but there's always great wrestling in your own backyard, and that's what we're always trying to showcase.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It's always wonderful to show people that this thing is going on locally. That's one of the big things with, especially now with social media. That's great. Is that the times of only knowing certain wrestling is over. It's really easy for anybody to discover wrestling on all different platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. And going to our first question here, like how did you discover wrestling, and what was some of your earliest memories of getting into it?
Well, when I was very young, when I was a little kid, that was still not so much on the tail end of the Attitude Era, but it was still in the era of WCW and WWF doing the Attitude Era, and it was not the end of the Monday Night Wars, but it was still, that still a heavy push on both ends. So, I mean, for me, anybody, like almost everyone was into wrestling at that time, and as funny as my mom got me into professional wrestling, that was a thing that, when I would go visit her, that's something that we sat down, we got to watch. She would tape the shows for me, so I was able to get to watch it. So I grew up watching both ends, actually, with, Sting and those guys in WCW, and then flipping over to see, like The Rock and Stone Cold, and one of my all-time favorites, Val Venus, as a young kid, was probably not the best role model to have.
Yeah, I remember when everyone's like, why do they call him Val Venus? What's the whole gimmick? And then you had those
rhymes with penis. Come on now.
No, although you had those handful of kids that were like straight up.
I think they didn't get it.
No, they actually, like, the guy who was on the internet at the time, he was called the MILF Hunter. And he looked exactly like Val Venus. Wow. And that's kind of where I think they got the idea of the character, because that was like the thing.
I'll look him up right now.
Yeah, the It movies online at the time was the MILF Hunter guy. And he looked exactly like Val Venus.
When you look back, it's amazing what they got away with back then.
Yeah.
His finisher was the money shot.
Yep, it was.
He's a porn star. What a gimmick. Hey, you're going to be a porn star.
Don't Google that, kids. So
that's what you get.
Yeah. Yeah, the MILF hunter.
Anyway, get back to Trajan.
Yeah.
He's
So
on the horn.
yeah, already we're into a porn topic conversation. See what you did here. So your earliest memories was kind of the Monday Night War area and stuff like that. Who are some of the guys that besides the Valvinas that you looked at and you're like, man, this is what I like?
Well, I mean, it's really the storylines, and you always got to take the big guys. You always had, Undertaker and Kane, and you had Stone Cold and whatever DX was doing at the time. But I mean, even guys like Al Snow and, like those, even like, I guess we would call them, undercard guys like that. I mean, it was everything all together that was going on. And actually, like, to me, being a professional wrestler was like an impossible thing. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around that. Like, I had no idea, training centers existed and things like that. Like, that just wasn't, like, to me, I just thought they were made in the lab, like superheroes. Like,
where do you even start?
Even WCW had, what was their
Power Play?
The Power Play.
Yeah.
Smyrna, Georgia. I think
Yeah, or DDP has his yoga thing. I think that is actually DDP yoga now.
Really?
Oh wow, is that their thing? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, to me it was, I didn't think any of that existed, and it wasn't until, and like, really what brought me into professional wrestling, because like, I played in bands and things of that such, and I was in college, and I kind of, like right at the end of high school, I was in college, and like, kind of just lost in my life. I didn't really know what to do, kind of felt out of place and without purpose. And I remember talking to this kid, and he was like, yo, yeah, like there's a training center. And I was like, a what? Like, it's like a place where someone's going to teach you how to be a professional wrestler. And, I think the idea started brewing then, and it was something I always wanted to be. And like, I'm not going to be like, professional wrestling has always been a dream of mine, but like I said, it was always like an impossible thing. You know what I mean? That's like graduating high school, not going to college and being like, I'm going to be a professional football player someday. It's like, well,
right. Sure.
What age did you start going to the training center?
I was 21 years old, actually. I think I just turned 21. I think it was August. And it was one of those things where, actually I trained out of backbreakers with Justin Glory. And it was one of those things I went up, and it was the first time in my life where I was setting small goals, where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go up, and I'm just going to, I just want to be in a professional wrestling ring once. And then, it was one of those things where then it was, all right, I guess I'll train for a little bit. And then it was, all right, well, I want to have one match, and then one match, and then the next weekend I had another match, and then more matches started coming, and then the wheel kept turning, and, one thing led to another. And then, like, it seemed with small goals. I mean, the second match I ever had was at GSW, Grand Slam Wrestling, who was run by Johnny Toxic and Brad DeMaio.
Who we call
and that was yeah. He's a little bit mad at me due to previous events, and I'm pretty sure little Pretty Header is also a little bit salty towards me too.
There was some mask guy that we had an encounter with. I don't know what happened to him though. Wild Phoenix.
Yeah, it was very dark. Who knows? Anybody could have been touching anybody.
So how long have you been in this now? How old are you currently?
I'm 25.
All right, so about 5 years now. So you're coming up on your about 5 years now,
5
right?
years, yeah.
I was like 25. Did he start wrestling as a baby?
I said five.
No, it would be actually next May would be my 4 years that I've been in being an active professional wrestling wrestler. I trained for 7 months, and then I started hitting that low that I think a lot of trainees get, and it's this isn't going to happen. I'm not going to have a match. And I remember I just bought Kit Raff of the Impeccable said, dude, just get gear. And, if Dory sees that you have gear and he sees that you've been working, I have a good feeling you'll be on the show. So I went and bought a shitty pair of black shorts that I still have. They're actually sitting on my floor. I haven't worn them in so long. And I think I had a singlet that was given to me, and a pair of black kick pads. And Glory saw that I had gear, and I was always trying to work my hardest, and he gave me a shot. And then, like I said, a week later, I remember I was at work, and that was my first goal. My first goal was I wanted to wrestle for GSW. That was a company that was doing well, and it was in my area, and that was the bigger, the brother company to what the training center would be. And I remember Brad being like, hey man, listen, if there's any chance that you can be up here in a half hour, I have a spot for you. And I was out of work in 2 hours. So I remember going up to my boss and being like, listen, you can either fire me or, you can let me go early, but I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And my boss was like, you know what? I understand. I was a janitor at the time. He was like, you know what? I understand. Get on out of here. And I remember driving to my house. I don't think I've ever taken a quicker shower in my life. Taking a shower, speeding as fast as I can. How was I driving? I was driving a 2001 silver Ford Windstar that was known in the music scene as the Silver Bullet. Anytime I'd pull up, people, it's the Silver Bullet, and everyone wanted to come hang out in my van with no back seats. Yeah, listen, they don't call me daddy because I got kids, brother. But I remember, walking in and Brad being like, you got 5 minutes, pretty much. You have 5 minutes. This is, Angus Bedford, who is now Tommy Beck. Yeah, this is the beginning. He wore cowboy boots, legitimate cowboy boots, and we're both greener than green could be. And I remember, just taking a swift boot straight to my head and being like, God damn, cowboy boots hurt. But yeah, it's 5 minutes, and I remember him being like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know, what do you want to do? And then Johnny Toxic being like, you better both get to curtain because you have to go out.
Do something.
So I remember it. Second match was borderline on the fly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, I'll tell you what, for someone who just now I'm hearing you're coming up on your full 4-year mark, I've seen you wrestle now, I think, 2 or 3 times.
Couple times at Outbreak.
I've seen him at PPW.
Yeah.
And I think twice at Outbreak. I think I've seen you twice at PPW. The second
twice at PPW, I've only been to Outbreak one time.
Yes.
My first day won a title.
Yeah. So yeah.
The Bad Street.
That's
3-man tag titles.
Which I think the team you have was a genius idea. But anyway, yeah. So PPW has seen you twice, and I think both times I've seen you, you stand out. Your gear and the way you carry yourself, and you have a very good swag to you when you're at the ring. There's just the way you kind of play it off. You know what I mean? You're very good at what you do. I was definitely drawn to you. And now I'm the type of person who I was very pro one company. So I'm very WWE mark. I never watched WCW. I never got into anything else. Never really gave anything else a chance. And I'm trying to slowly now turn that ship around. But after I seen you wrestle a couple times and I started opening my eyes, I was like, man, you kind of give me a Joey Janela vibe.
I can see that.
Yeah.
The thing with professional wrestling and indie wrestling, or I really hate that professional and indie, because wrestling is wrestling no matter what it is. I mean, if you got a contract or not. I mean, some of the best wrestlers that I've seen even the last couple of years, don't have a contract and whatever. But
yeah,
the thing with when I started wrestling was, and it's been a thing, and it's always been a thing, is everyone wants to be that big, edgy, tough guy heel, who wears, you see a lot of people in black, and I'm 100% not dogging it. It is what it is, and
yeah.
But with me, I'm not I try my best not to be a black and white person, and I try to let that shine through my gear, and I gave that up about 2 years ago, with wearing, you know, super dark colors, because it's really just, it's not who I am. I'm a very, you know, bright person. I'm not blowing up my own head with, I mean, smart wise. I mean, it's not intelligence wise, color wise, as like a human being, it's brighter aura. So to me, I mean, I've always said it. I'm really here just to spread good vibes, you know, to the people who work all week. Like it's on both ends. Like there's people who work all week to come, and that Saturday at 7:00 at night, they're there because that's their getaway. That's their entertainment. That's their chance. And I always try my best not to rob those people. And I actually became a little bit better of a wrestler when I started seeing it that way. Because the thing is those people are there to see you guys, and that's their getaway. And, you know, how dare you be in this business and rob those people of, you know, it's not like it is for us, but it's not for us. Like, we're entertainers, we're performers. Like, I mean, really, ultimately, we're there to entertain. And for me, I really just I enjoy entertaining, and it's a professional wrestling is such an incredible history and lineage, and such an incredible thing, and just to be part of it is an honor. So for me, anytime I'm out there, you know, I try my best to give those people what they want, whether, you know, bad guy, good guy, whatever, in between, whatever it may be. And it shines in my gear, you know, even moving around and strutting around. There really is no gimmick to me. I mean, if you know me in person, if you see me in like the locker room, you know, I wake up to Chubby Daddy. There's no switch up. There's no change. Like, that's my personality. That's who I am. Whenever you see me in the ring, however I'm acting, that's my attitude and feeling towards that day. From when I woke up to when I walked in that locker room, that's, you know, who I am. So, like, the strutting around, that comes from me getting really excited and then just sauntering around. Like, that's a legit thing.
It definitely shines through.
Yeah, like, that's 100% me. I mean, you could the same person in Walmart when, you know, my favorite DVD is on sale to the person who is at, you know, a festival and hears his favorite drop. No matter where you see me, if you see me get excited, I'm uppity and I'm strutting around. Like, that's been a thing. Even before I started wrestling, that was just an exciting, that's just something I've done. It's just, I'm a giant goofball.
Yeah.
And with wrestling, I mean, excuse my language, but screw being that big tough guy and edgy guy for me, because that's not me. I tried doing it. I tried being that, and it worked for people, and it's just, that's not who I am. Like, I'm, you know, I mean, I got a silver tongue, and I'm real slick, so I don't mind being real groovy, because that's who I am, ultimately. So I don't want to play somebody I'm not. You know what I mean? It's just, that ain't me, Jack. You know.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they always say with the greatest of the great is Austin, The Rock, people like that. It's always them just turned up all the way.
Yeah. We don't need 10 guys being Randy Orton.
Yeah, there's too many of that. Yeah, that's why I have a hard time with the UK program.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone looks exactly the same. They have the same look. So what are some of your pivotal moments that you had in your career, or some things that definitely stand out?
Well, I mean, it's fairly early on, and like I said, I mean, anytime I'm in the ring, it's like that's always a good moment for me. But I mean, winning the True title right now has been such a big thing to me. Before I won that title, and I'm gonna kind of plug it now, because it's not something I've publicly have spoken about. But when that happened, even in the first like two and a half years of me wrestling and training, I was just going through things and wasn't mentally there, and even now continuing, it has been such a push for me. Just even though I was wrestling, it was something I was happy with. I was still just mixed feelings and kind of all over the place, and going through, I guess, depression. And I was kind of lost in my life. And I actually, for whatever reason, I was taking it out on wrestling, because I was beating myself up so hard, and wrestling was constantly running through my brain that I was starting to lose touch myself with, like, you know, whether I'm keeping a shoe life, or, you know, if I'm working hard enough in wrestling. And I was beating myself up, and it was kind of one of those points where I think I was like, I was ready to be done with it. Like, I don't know what was going through my head. I was taking all my bullshit out on professional wrestling, and even in ring, I just wasn't myself, and I wasn't, you know, I was just, anytime I'd have a match, I hated it. I was that guy for a while where, like, as soon as I got back to Kurt, I was just like, screw this. Like, you know, that was awful, and picking myself apart. And, it was winning the true title. Like, that run that me and Sam Adams had completely, I just gave me a whole 180 with professional wrestling, and it gave me a new happiness. I gained a new confidence, and I started being myself. You know, I was strutting more, and, you know, moving around more, and doing different things, and being comfortable, because, you know, there's a variety of, and, you know, I apologize to say it, but there's a variety of that fuck it attitude. And that's an attitude that, you know, it's not, oh, I hate everything, screw everything. It's, you know, Macho Man said it once, and it's the line I've lived by since I've heard it is what it is, get over it.
Yeah.
Life is what it is. If you can change it and it's in your hands to fix it, fix it. If not, let it go. It's a learning lesson, move forward. And winning the true title was something that really, it just changed me. Like, I had putting the title on somebody, like, putting the title on me was a reason to change. Because that was the first time in professional wrestling where someone said, you're the guy now. Like, you are, and especially with that roster with so many incredible wrestlers, Header, Turner, and the Stepdads, and Deppen, and Clay, and the Whisper, and, you know, some of the absolutely incredible talent, Tommy Vex included, all of them that are on that roster, and I'm that guy. And then when you walk through that curtain, whether it's 550, 500, 5,000 people chanting your name, it doesn't matter. It's such an incredible moment. So things just changed around for me. And it wasn't a screw it attitude in the way of, like, I don't care about this. It was just like, I'm going to have bad matches. I'm not going to be over everywhere I go, but I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be Trajan Horn no matter what. And, you know, if they like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. But I'm going to keep trying until they do. And I've become I think I'm at my best that I could be right now, thanks to, you know, winning that true title and shined everywhere, because I'm holding a title for a company that has given me a lot and has given me a chance, and, you know, people that I looked up to in my first, you know, 7 months of training, and then my first, you know, year or so of wrestling.
Yeah.
It's pretty, and just real quick, you know, when Ace Austin jumped off the basketball hoop, who caught him? Trajan Horn, right? Am I right? That was your match when you wrestled Ace Austin, right?
It was. What a crazy idea that was. I remember. You guys ever watch Street Ball back in that day?
The N1 mixtapes.
Where people were just doing crazy, ridiculous dunks.
Yeah.
So there's this dunk, I think it was called the Spider-Man dunk. And what it was is, like, it's just a normal double-handed dunk, but then, like, the dude swings his legs up and, like, hangs upside down.
And he puts his feet together over the rim like Spider-Man's pose. Yep.
Yeah, and I remember being like, just me and him standing on the outside of the ring, and I really don't want to break the biz too much here, but I remember me being like, yo, dude, like, I'm going through the same spiel. I was like, do you think, like, you could do that? We'll go out to the outside, you get up there, boom, flip up, and then I'll catch you, obviously, and, like, we'll still out. And he was like, well, you know, how crazy of an idea would it be to jump from the hoop to the ring? And I was just like, no, it's not. That's impossible. That's not going to happen. I remember him climbing up, and he jumped and landed in the middle. And he said, what do you think? And I said, well,
we're doing it.
I guess we're doing it. And, like, that couldn't, like, you know, that couldn't have been more perfect from him climbing up. I wasn't at all, even if you watch the whole video of, like, you know, I wasn't standing there waiting. Like, I turned around into it and, like, what a good moment that was, and especially by Ace Austin, who's not only one of my really close friends and one of my first really good friends in this business, but also just an incredible athlete who, that kid's like King Midas. Anything he touches is going to turn to gold as long as he
super
keeps
nice dude
working
too.
that.
When he after he did that spot, he wrestled at Outbreak and he wrestled Killian, who's an amazing talent.
Yeah, he's all right.
You have a match coming up with him. I was just looking at, but and everyone's
I beat him once.
Yeah, and everyone's talking about, man, Ace Austin's going to be here tonight. He broke the internet, man. Like, it was like the biggest thing in the local indie scene. Like, this guy jumped from the basketball hoop, and he showed up and he wrestled that night. And then after it was all said and done, like, he was helping his grandmother out of the arena, and he was just like a normal other dude. We're like, hey, man, great match. And he was like, thank you so much. And he was just helping his grandma out. And then a couple weeks later, he signed to Impact, and now here he is. He's a champion. And
it's the time to get signed now this coming year. And also, go ahead, Trajan. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say about the last match you had at True Wrestling. Put that over.
Oh, Shane Douglas.
Yes, he wrestled the franchise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What? I apologize. God, I'm running heat on you.
It's all right.
Had to protect that title from getting the NWA treatment.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to pull the curtain back a little bit here. If you and Andy can also talk about this. Now, when you talk to someone who's not maybe a wrestling fan or someone who's brand new to the wrestling business, and obviously it's the kayfabe angle of it is, what you're doing is, I mean, the people who don't like the sport or not into the sport, or you're trying to convert them over, they're going to say, well, it's not real, it's fake, it's scripted. What does it like? You kind of talked about a little bit, but what is that experience like when you show up to the arena that night, or you're even wrestling for a belt or a title, and someone says, "Hey, we're going to put the title on you that night." Like, for someone for someone to hear that and say, like, "Well, you're winning a fake belt." That's what they always say. Like, you're winning and I completely disagree with that. Like, to me, like, if you're putting any belt on me, if I touch a belt, I look at a belt, you just look at, because as a wrestling fan, you look at that and you're like, oh my God, like that's a belt. Like when Andy won the Outbreak title and he had to sit at the table here, like I wasn't even the champion, but I was super proud of a buddy of mine who was. Like, can you kind of maybe talk about that experience of when you find out you're going to win the belt, or when you finally, that 3 count is over or the match is over and now you're officially a champion?
I think we need to take away ever so slightly, the sport aspect of it. And that's the problem with outside fans is, yes, we are athletes, and yes, it is a sport to a sense, but, and, people could chew me out for this all they want, and I'm not going to sit there and, downgrade what it is or the lineage, because if anybody knows the history, trust me, I've studied front to back the history of professional wrestling, and what it is, this is an art form. And, it's the art form in the same way as, as anything, as, dance and things of that sort, with the nature of it is. And let me put it this way, is you've all seen magicians, right? He pulls the rabbit out of the hat. You know that goddamn rabbit doesn't live in a hat. There's a trick to it.
Yes, there's no actual
It's the same as when I punch somebody in the face in that wrestling ring. It's forget is your job is to trick people into forgetting that it's the deemable word of fake that people put on it, which is it's such a silly thing that's still being used, that we're illegitimate or we're fake or that we're not real. But the thing is it's the same as when you go see a magician and he pulls the trick and you go, oh, wow. It's a trick. But with wrestling, it's almost the same aspect of, I've seen so many people who weren't wrestling fans sit down and watch wrestling, and they're oohing and ahhing the same way as they're watching a UFC fight or, the Cowboys versus the Eagles or whatever. That's our job. The same way as you can sit down and watch Star Wars and believe that Liam Neeson is a Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, that's the believability in it, and that's the whole point of it is that we are entertainers, and our job is to do that. And, you know, the fact is that anybody can sit there and say, oh, you know, it's fake or, you know, whatever, because they're non-wrestling fans, but those are the same people who are going to go home, sit down, and watch Game of Thrones or watch anything like that. Like, and that's the thing with professional wrestling is winning. You have to convey emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Put one of those guys in the ring with Terry Funk left.
Yeah.
See how that works out.
We took a friend of mine who's a huge theater guy, loves theater. He's very into the acting and the theater and performing arts and stuff. And he was not a big wrestling fan.
I knew next to nothing about wrestling.
He knew nothing about wrestling. And we took him to the show because he's part of the podcast team, and he still is, but he's just not around as much. But he went because I want to go support Andy. I want to go see him wrestle. And but I said, all right, going into this, I said, I don't want you to go into this and thinking you're watching a sport because he hates sports.
Yeah.
I said, I want you to go into this and think of it as a production. Think of it as play. It's Shakespeare inside ropes.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. And then at the very end, I said, how did you feel? And he goes, I had a blast. Like, he had a really good time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And he said, he goes, it was weird because when Andy hit the ring, I legit had butterflies. I was legit nervous for Andy. Like, he would take a bump or a punch, and in the back of my head, I'm like, did he really get hit with that punch? Because he relates to you as a person and not, you know what I mean? Like, I love having that experience of opening the door to somebody.
Yeah,
to
they
this.
like it. Yeah,
yeah.
They're like, oh,
you know that George Clooney isn't nipply Batman.
Yeah,
but when you sit there and you watch him,
I'm out.
when you sit there. He's probably George Clooney is one of my favorite Batmans, believe it or not.
He was a good Bruce Wayne.
But that's the thing, man. Is like you guys said it correctly. Professional wrestling is such a rare art form, and I think that's why we get mad when people deem it as fake.
Yeah,
because you're pretty much taking something like that is so complex and just so difficult. Everyone thinks they could be a professional wrestler until you have them in a ring for 2 minutes and they didn't even do nothing but hit ropes.
Yeah, no,
and then all of a sudden, like, oh, this is hard. You know, and there's so much to it. You know, there's a dance to it. There's, you know, the emotion, the acting, the actual sport, and the things that, like, all the whole, like, football, for example, is one thing. And I know there's a bunch of rules and things like that, but if you think about it, it's a simple thing to watch. Professional wrestling is such a complex thing to watch, but yet you don't realize it until you really delve deep into it. I think that's why people call it fake because they're disappointed in the fact that somebody told them Hulk Hogan isn't, you know, the real American hero. And, you know, and people, you know, and Sting really isn't the Crow, and then all of a sudden people are, oh. And I think that's nonsense, but yet the thing about professional wrestling is it's such an incredible art form, and there's so much to it that for somebody to sit there and pretty much say, it's the same thing as if you made a beautiful sculpture and someone said, oh, that's shit.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all right, yeah, this all this time and effort and the things that I've created, you know, you've just deemed it as nothing. And I think that's why professional wrestlers and people who are fans of professional wrestling get so it's as real as it gets. I'm not going to say it's definitely not fake. I mean, Andy can attest to it. You know, especially if you've ever been in the ring with me. I mean, it's definitely not fake. You're gonna feel everything. I have splits in my teeth. I have concussions. There's mornings where I can't, you know, raise my shoulders because, you know, my nerves are hurting. You know, every day I have to stretch my neck a little bit extra because, you know, and that's just in a couple of years. And if you ask anybody in the professional wrestling business, yeah, we're all tough guys, but I mean, this hurts. I've bled in that ring. I've sweat in that ring. I have sat in doctor's office because of things that I've done in that ring. And, you know, it's just to sit there and be like, oh, well, it's nothing. It's not, you know what I mean? Like we're artists, and So, and my favorite thing ever is the same thing you were saying with the theater guy, is somebody going, and whether you're 4, 40, or 100 years old, professional wrestling, good professional wrestling and good indie wrestling can completely take you away from, you can walk in that door and pay your ticket and say wrestling is fake, and I guarantee you, by the end of that show, if it is good professional wrestling put on by good professional wrestlers, you will be completely in awe, the same way that in the 70s, people went and sat in that theater to watch a George Lucas film, and all of a sudden, when they walked out, they believed that lightsabers in a galaxy far, far away, there was Jedis and different planets and Wookiees and robots and all that shit. In the same way that when they walked out of that Lord of the Rings and when they walked out of movies like that, people believed. And there wasn't a believe. You believe. It's the believability of it is because we got you, we tricked you. You know what I mean? You sat there, you walked in, and you deemed it as nothing, and you deemed it as fake, and boom! When you walked out of that theater, you believed because it was that good. And I've watched wrestling. I think every girlfriend I've ever had, oh, wrestling's fake. How can you watch that shit? And I throw in ECW, and boom, all of a sudden, but oh my God, did you see that? Oh, did you see that? Yeah, I've been seeing it since I was 5 years old. Like I know the outcome of this Malenko Guerrero match, but you don't. And like that's the thing about professional wrestling is it gets you every time. No matter who you are, what you're into, how big of a tough guy or whatever the hell you are, professional wrestling will always get you. And thanks to social media, it is getting everyone, and I do wish it keeps going.
That's what we're trying to do here. Is we're trying to bring it to the forefront.
You know, it's funny. He said how old are you?
25.
25. So I'm 39. I've been defending professional wrestling for 30 years.
Yeah.
I remember being 9 years old in school arguing with kids about the same thing that he's saying now. So it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Another 30 years from now, people are still going to be, and I feel it's the only medium where you still have to defend it and say stuff like, soap operas are fake, movies are fake.
It exists in a weird
reality TV is fake.
We still have to sit here and defend wrestling. And I think at some point we should just stop.
Yeah,
just stop and just.
Well, it's kind of your most wrestling fans now is when you walk up to somebody as a wrestling fan, they say, it's fake, right? Most wrestling fans go, are you serious?
Yeah.
We just kind of just make fun of you because we're aware, but it's still awesome to watch. You know what I mean?
It's easy. It's an easy thing to say. It's the same as walking up to a fat guy and being like, "Yo, you're fat." All right,
shit.
No shit, I'm fat. Yeah, I can tell by my waistline. I'm the one who buys my jeans. I'm the one who tries on my t-shirts. But that's the thing, man. Is though it's simpletons. It's an easy thing to say. It's so easy to just go, oh, wrestling is fake. And you know why? Because they don't know. And you know what? It's not your job to teach them. It's not your job to prove them wrong. Guess what? Professional wrestling has enough extremely talented wrestlers and enough incredible fans that if you're going to call it fake, we don't need you.
Yeah.
We don't need you to come buy a ticket because we have enough people who are going to come and buy a ticket. But you know what? If you want to come, I'll buy your ticket. I'll buy your ticket, and if you didn't like that show, if you didn't like that show, if you didn't like my performance, then that's on me. Because I've watched some of the toughest, biggest dudes. Oh, ballet is stupid. Sit in a theater and get lost into a goddamn musical. Yeah. So I don't want to hear any nonsense about it because. Listen, if you come, by the end of it, you're gonna, even if you're not a professional wrestling fan for life, you'll have a new appreciation for it. And I've seen it a million times in the last couple of years. I've seen people who just want to support my buddy, or, I just, whatever it may be. And by the end of it, they're like, oh my God, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see, my girlfriend knows about professional wrestling, but she wasn't into it. And she's seen me a couple times, and she loves the stepdads, so it's gonna suck for her Saturday when I whoop up on both of them. But and maybe we'll have an argument on the way home. But that's the thing is, I mean, I've seen little kids love it, and I think that's what happened with people where, you know, when you're growing up, that's what happened to me. I watched wrestling, and then at one point in time, I didn't care about it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it was the people that were wrestling at the time in WWE, and I didn't fall back in love with wrestling until I was, you know, probably like 16. And a good friend of mine at the time said, "Hey man, you ever check out like Ring of Honor or, you know, things like that?" 'Cause he was a wrestling fan. And then all of a sudden, you know, I was exposed to Ring of Honor and CZW and, you know, even like companies like WXW and
the Germany one.
Not to discredit the Samoans at all, but the German company WXW and you know, New Japan. And I know that this is corny for so many people who are into wrestling right now, but New Japan blew my mind completely out of the water, you know, with, you know, Liger and guys like that. And, you know, so for me, I fell out of love with professional wrestling because it was the same thing. It's just, you know, I got into other things and I just got bored with the WWE and everyone's saying, oh, well, it's fake and it's this, that, and the third. And then, you know, I fell in love with it. And now, I mean, of course, you know, I'm married to the game right now. This is my favorite thing in the entire world, and it's that's where I'm comfortable. Just like a fan, I wait my whole week to get into that ring and entertain you. You know what I mean? The fans, and you wait all week for me to get in that ring. So it's a special bond that we have. You know what I mean? And it's always compared to making love. You know what I mean? Like everyone's been there. You got that. You know, that lady or whatever you're into that's, you know, waiting all week, and then boom, you guys go on a date, bing, bang, boom, you have some fun, and that's professional wrestling. You're waiting to see me, I'm waiting to see you. We're going to get in that ring, we're going to make some memories and, you know, create some good energy.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to keep it too long. I know you are on a time frame here. If you want to see him this
Saturday
at Backbreakers, and that where's that this venue?
Mayfield, PA, at the Falcons Nest.
Mayfield, PA, this Saturday. Bell time is 7 o'clock. The DA double DUI, that's right, me, and a good friend of mine, AJ Evers, is going to get into that ring. We're going to take the stepdads, and we're going to turn them into children. We're going to wipe the floor with them, and then most likely whoever's next, which would probably be Turner and Header if they can survive. Header already chickened out. Header already chickened out once. Header already chickened out once.
I didn't cancel.
He had to shut down. He had to shut. He called in to Ryan Vox, and he had them shut down Outbreak for the day because he knew on that bill it was me versus him.
Your promo was amazing, by the way.
Listen, brother, I got a silver tongue, and that's not just for talking. So, but I unfortunately I hate to cut it short. I do have to scramble. I appreciate you guys. I hope to have another date with y'all soon.
100%.
Header, watch your back and protect your neck. You guys don't have to worry so much unless you guys have to stand in my way. The Celestial Child had a good time with y'all. I hope to speak to you soon.
100%, man. Thank you so much for your time and calling in. Everyone, go check him out. His Facebook page for his wrestling is on there, and go check that out and give him a like and go give him that support.
Yeah, I believe on Facebook it's Trajan Chubby Daddy Horn.
Yep.
The full name.
You'll find it.
That's right. Same with the Insta, guys. Much love.
Thank you, man.
See you there, man. Yeah, so it's him and AJ Evers, and they're taking on stepdads. They're on the left side of the bracket.
Okay.
And then they would take on the winner of the Diamond City War Machine, and then not Dasher Hatfield. What's the smaller Hatfield? Boomer Hatfield, and the hockey player girl, McCoy. Molly McCoy?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So they would take on the winner of that, and then that would go on to take on either, well, it's us versus Sambo show, Blue and Gold, and then the other match is Coach Fit versus Crusade. So to win, you got to wrestle 3 matches. So
yeah,
we'll find.
Hey, so we're jumping you right in here. We're gonna wing it and do it live.
Hey, sweet, I like that.
So you want to let everyone know who we're talking to here?
Yeah, my name is Brad DeMaio. I'm one half of the Diamond City War Machines. I'm one of the competitors in this weekend's Backbreakers Entertainment Tag Title Tournament.
Awesome, man. Awesome. How long do we got you? Do you have some time?
I have a little bit of time. Yeah, I'm letting that pre-workout kick in.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
If you just got 5 minutes, Brad, that's enough.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're going to the gym. I just got your message, so.
No, it's okay, man. Not a problem at all.
Awesome. So we just talked to Trajan. He was very passionate, very some cool stuff. I'm going to kind of repeat some questions that we asked him to you because I'm just interested in some of your backstory. What got you into professional wrestling? What are some of the moments that definitely sparked your interest in this industry?
Man, that goes back a long time. You know, I've been in the industry for 20 years, and I'm 39 years old now. And growing up, you know, in the 80s, like I did, my grandfather would sit us down, and we would watch wrestling on Saturday mornings. So I've got that, you know, that WWF Superstars mentality. I remember watching that as a kid and being turned on to more stuff by my grandfather, like WCW and then the NWA and Ric Flair and such. So just coming up and then going to like local house shows, you know, when they're at the CYC in Scranton and being able to see people like the one time Hogan was in town, being there for that and then growing up through all that. So definitely sparked my interest as a kid. When I became like a teenager, I found ECW like most people did.
Yeah, that was like losing your virginity again.
Pretty much, yeah. You know, for a long time before concussions happened, I could rattle off an entire Shane Douglas speech of him throwing down the NWA title and pronouncing the ECW title the World Championship.
Dennis Corleone.
That hit home for me. Yeah, man, that was a crazy night, you know. And I used to be able to rattle that off like from memory.
And they can all kiss my ass.
So by the way, I'm Jack. I used to live at Fourth and Rittner, and ECW was at Swanson and Rittner, so it was only a few blocks away from me. Yeah, I was there all the time.
That's awesome.
He lived in ECW.
Wow, I would have been there all the time. I was
there
like
when it
13.
was Eastern Championship Wrestling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, do you remember Jason Knight?
Man.
Yes.
I used to help Jason Knight. Like somebody slashed his tires, I was helping him fix his tire down there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
I used to go to the arena all the time for arena shows, and then I think me, Header, and Turner were just at the arena for New Japan, and me and Turner hadn't been there in like a decade. And that place is like completely different now. But you're just like, man, like I've been in here for some of the. I was there the night the Sandman returned, and like just all these other crazy nights were just like condensed in this tiny little warehouse, this little nothing bingo hall. But it means so much to me for everything that was there and everything I've seen there.
And the urban legends you would hear, like growing up, like, oh, ECW is real, everything else is not.
Yeah.
You have to sign a waiver to go to ECW shows.
I've heard that. Yeah, you have to sign a waiver, which is obviously.
Could you imagine?
The only thing I ever came close to ECW is growing up in Schuylkill County. We used to get the the shows that were under the ECW brand, but they weren't called ECW shows, but it would be like the ECW guys would come to one of our high school gyms.
Yeah.
Do
they
a
would play
show.
Jim Thorpe a lot too.
Yeah.
You'd have like 5 ECW guys, but it'd be like TWWA or something.
Yeah. So we had one in Shenandoah, Pennsylvania. We made a joke about it the last show, and we said this is where Abdul the Butcher actually got his Hep C was in Shenandoah. It was Abdul the Butcher versus Terry Funk in a no holds bar false counts anywhere cage match. And
Which makes no sense.
it was the weirdest thing of all time. So
they only had a small amount of places to.
They never even attempted to climb the cage. It was the weird.
I can't see Terry Funk climb.
Yeah, neither one of them even attempted. I think the cage was just there for aesthetics at this point. So the match starts. They get a couple scraps in, a couple elbow and collar call-ups, and then Abdul pulls the fork out and goes to stab Terry.
Yep.
Terry kicks him in the belly, pulls the fork out of his hand, and buries it in his forehead. And then the place just how he was saying earlier, it's like a magic trick, and there was no magic trick there. He buried a fork in a grown man's
I will tell you,
forehead.
Abdullah stabbed me with a fork.
I told that on the show before.
Yeah, you should go get checked.
No, he did. He stabbed me in the lip.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
It was Break the Barrier '99 at the ECW arena, so everybody was there.
Yes.
It was like every fucking
Dude,
thing. Go ahead.
I have a Polaroid with Abdullah putting a fork to my head.
Yeah, me too. But he stabbed me in my lip, so you got lucky. I stood in line with Luthez was there, and I stood in line with him. He was buying a fucking hot dog.
Yeah.
Wow.
That same night, I met Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and that picture just got put on the internet from the guys. I was with my buddy Billy, and his mom just posted it. And the funny thing about that photo is, I'm looking like I'm having the worst time of my life because the anvil literally has his wrist in my right in my sweet spot. So I was going fuzzy. He was putting me out.
So
That was still then like we gotta make him think it's real.
Yeah, Jim might have indulged in some white powder that night.
I'm sure he had something.
Yeah, he was he was having a blast that night in Shenandoah. Like he rolled into a bar and was just smoking at the bar, and you weren't supposed to, but nobody was going to tell him he couldn't. Like, yeah, he loved Shenandoah Valley. He had a good time. But yeah, Abdul the Butcher and Terry Funk fought all over that gym and literally put blood every square inch of that place.
Wow.
And we never had a show ever again.
That's what happened to a lot of places in
that would do
ECW.
it.
Oh yeah. One right by us, the Briarcliff Fieldhouse. They put a hole in the floor. One of the pit bulls.
Oh, so we were talking when we were talking to your last guest, talking about like wrestling being fake. Brian will tell you, I got a who was
Stevie Richards. Yeah.
I had a fucked up ankle, right? I
love Stevie
I
Richards.
just fucked up my ankle, so I had it rested on a guardrail, and one of the pit bulls, I think it was,
Yeah, I think it was one of them.
fucking Anthony Durrani.
He's the ball one, right?
He used to work with my dad down
Oh,
to
really?
Chrome Pro. So yeah, they worked together.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Anthony and my dad they were buddies. So Anthony whips Richards into the fucking guardrail and onto my fucked up ankle.
Ugh.
So I'm like, I'm already hobbling, and now it's worse.
Good thing you signed that waiver.
It was Briarcliff Fieldhouse was great. Fucking my dad and Jericho would sit there like exchanging jokes and shit.
If you ever remember, there was an ECW tape. It was called Just Another Night. That was the Briarcliff Fieldhouse.
Was that the one where
Oh, okay.
Dreamer and
Brian Lee.
They
I was
fucked up
there. The stop sign across the street.
Yeah, I was there. I was standing there as they did that shot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the history a little bit. That how did you actually then break into it and start getting into training and getting into the business yourself?
So September or August '99, summer of '99. I was looking for anything around our area in Scranton. There was nothing up here. Out of nowhere, we found this little underground quasi-indie show happening in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And it was in the back of like a punk rock club. The ring was homemade. The guys were all trash, but it was my in. You know, like they were trained by a dude from ECCWA or EWWA, something up in Canada, and they passed it on to me. And it wasn't great training, but it was my foot in the door. I eventually got to meet Phil Stamper, PS Phenom, who had been around for about 10 years at that point, and that's like a bunch of us, myself, Turner, at first. And he's like, I'm going to take you to this warehouse in Allentown, and I'm going to train you there. And it was a legit ring. That was in the summer of 2000 when I first started taking actual bumps in an actual ring. But spring of 2001, I'm on the indies working tag matches wherever I can at that point. And again, our area still wasn't all that saturated with wrestling, so I was traveling, leaving, not having a job at 22, leaving Scranton at like 2 o'clock on a Friday, driving to Massachusetts, doing 4 shots in Massachusetts over a weekend, coming home at 2 o'clock Monday morning.
Wow.
Like that kind of thing. That was every weekend for 6 months because there was nothing in our area.
That's called paying your dues, kids.
And those goddamn
Yeah,
how much.
me and my tag partner went through 2 cars. Yeah, it was rough.
Wow. And that's what it took at that time. And there was now Allentown there's like what, 3 different two promotions there?
We got WXW.
Between Allentown, Scranton, now there's you can find promotions everywhere in our area. And everyone's like, don't stay local, but I thought my calendar was local, and I just don't have anything else to see. I mean, every time I turn around, it's like, oh, you're just going to go an hour away? And I'm like, yeah, but I've got 4 shots. There's 5, 6 shots in a month. I'm good with that, you know?
Yeah.
100%. Now, I do have a question. A little honor here for you. So when we put the post up for the thing, I had one person request if they can ask a question, and I have it here. Steve, I'm gonna butcher his last name.
I don't know how. I think it's
Lalelli. So Stephen Lalelli, he's from the Smart Mark podcast.
Yeah.
And he says here, if I may ask Brad tonight, if you're taking questions, I was wondering if the Voice of the Valley had any pointers for people looking to get into commentary, or people who commentate and are looking to make the best they can out of it. He's definitely one of my commentary inspirations.
Because Brad's been doing commentary when he took a little break from wrestling, so he's been doing comedy for a few years, but now he just got back into wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took about 5 years off from wrestling to kind of step away from the in-ring stuff. I was I was way heavy. I was like 550 pounds. I was broken down. It was a bad time. And I got behind the microphone because I still want to be a part of the business and kind of put my stamp on things. And I kind of found my voice in doing that. You know, I kind of found out that having that 30 years of wrestling history and knowledge ingrained in myself, I can actually do that well. Mm-hmm. As for advice, you know, it's I'm one of the few and far between who doesn't have a degree in broadcasting, and that hurt me, I think. But I don't think you need one necessarily. If you have one, great, awesome. They're hard to get, though. You know, short of Full Sail and like Syracuse University, no one's doing broadcasting degrees, and they're not cheap. What I would say is to practice, would just put on matches I've never seen before, turn down the sound, and do commentary on everything. It's like getting reps. It's the same thing if you're batting practice for baseball or training in wrestling. The more times you do it prior to a live show, the better you're going to get at it. I was lucky enough to have one or two good people who I always worked with. I'm going to say three good people who I had to work with. Peter DeLong, who I worked with at Grand Slam Wrestling for a long time, and now he's at Backbreakers now. Paul Bowe, who I had a chance to work with at
Paul's
True.
Great. He's a great guy.
Paul, I love Paul to death. And then Tim Taylor, who I was doing monthly shows with at Excellence down in Sellersville. These are just guys who people I had great rapport with, who I'm able to play off of. Advice, I would just try to get out there and do as much as you can. Plug, you know, 'cause there's so many little indies now. For a while there, before people had like good setups, I had my own setup. I would just reach out to promoters and be like, hey, I don't know who's recording your show, but if they don't have commentary, I can come down and do it. I just need gas money. I have my own setup. I'll give you the recording. You can do it to what you want. And a couple people took me up on that. A couple people didn't. But at the same point, it got you out there to get more reps. Putting yourself out there and just doing it. Knowing the names of holds. Getting a good flow with your partner. And if it's just yourself, knowing that you can take breaks. You don't have to fill every waking second of a match with words. Let stuff speak for itself. Fill things in with pertinent information when it's needed.
Yeah,
I learned a list of wrestling holds from that one episode of Nitro.
Yeah, Jericho. Armbar. Speaking of commentary, so we always joke around about a certain commentary on this team. On this, one of our guys here has a little bit of a bugaboo with a commentary guy. And ever since he's been telling it, now that I watch NXT,
am I winning you over?
You kind of are, man. I'm like, Jesus, like he's trying too hard to get them in there. Like, and then when he does,
Mamma Mia!
When he does get them in there, and it falls flat, I'm like,
there you go.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Listen, you might ruin your career. All right, just be careful. Tread lightly.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not a popular thing to go against. I think he's great at what he does. His energy is amazing.
He's over the top a little bit.
But when he tries to sneak too many in at too many times.
Our references, they're a little too deep.
What it is he's a hip hop fan.
Yeah.
Right. So you know that by listening to if you listen to my podcast, it's Murder, my dude. If you listen to my podcast, we drop a lot of wrestling. Every episode, it's a true crime podcast, but we drop wrestling references.
Tons of them.
If you listen to Morrow, he does wrestling, but he drops hip-hop references.
Yeah, he stays in his comfort zone.
And that's why he's always doing these analogies and doing all this, because he's doing what hip-hop artists do.
Yeah.
And Brian here fucking hates it. He hates it.
I like when he has the deep comic book cuts. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
The one reference I really loved was on Raw this week. Dio Madden dropping a Castlevania 2 reference.
Holy shit.
What a horrible night to have occurred.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I forget which one he said on NXT yesterday, but he said it, and I was just like, I just shook my head.
Out of here,
I was like, "Oh my, that
like
really?"
Fatal's going for all the Infinity Gems. Yeah. That was the best one.
It's funny because Brian was a huge Morrow fan.
I liked him in MMA.
Yeah,
no, you liked him in Pride or who was he with?
Pride Strike Force.
He was with Brock for a while.
Strike Force too. Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't you say good night Irene or something? Something I forget. He said something weird. But
And then you liked him when he did was it like Japanese?
He was okay on New Japan. It wasn't as like
He did the Access right before
Yes.
DeMaio.
Yeah. Well, our topic later on tonight is hands down. I mean, everything the guy touched in wrestling to me was gold. But our topic tonight later on is going to be Bobby the Brain. So that's a commentary guy right there.
Which is funny because Morrow. So Brian got up and went to the bathroom, he went to let the dog out. When he did,
he did. There was
Morrow drops a Bobby reference.
Yes, he did.
And I'm like, oh man, I don't know if that would make Brian like kind of turn around or hate him even more.
I do remember him saying it. And I was going to say in the chat like, Morrow, but I also watch at the different time as everyone else.
Yeah.
So I actually hide the chat for a while,
Right.
Because they like some of yous are lucky enough to watch two TVs at the same time. I have to watch one and then watch one later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
said-
got to
picture-
focus on one show at a time.
Yeah,
I
same
can't
here.
I can't do two at once.
what do you watch first?
I've been watching AEW first,
Yes.
and
Same
then
here.
going back to watch NXT.
Yeah, that's what
Only
I've been doing as well.
because it's not that I'm more invested in one than the other.
You're a Tony
It's that
fan.
I'm more curious. I'm a Shivani guy. At heart,
Yes!
for sure.
That's why I just said you're a Tony. I didn't mean this
I'm
Tony
a
right here.
I'm a Tony fan.
Dude, me too.
I think I even I tweeted at him one time that he was my biggest inspiration to me to be a commentator, and he tweeted back to me he liked the tweet or something like that.
That's awesome.
It made my heart happy.
He seems
but,
genuinely a good dude.
Yeah.
I've heard that I listen to the show every week, to his show, and he right in our area there's a minor league baseball stadium, and he's been here 5 times this year with whatever the Braves team was.
yeah, the Gwinnett Braves.
Every time they're here, I had to work and I couldn't go to a game because honestly, the way it's set up at that field is the play-by-play guys, the color guy, they have to walk through the crowd. I was just gonna hang out and wait for the dude just to meet him,
Yeah.
as a straight up stalker. I didn't care. I just wanted to meet Tony Schiavone.
Can I just hug you?
But yeah,
Tony Schiavone. I had a moment like that at
Going back to
PPW.
Morrow, I like Morrow, but in small doses.
Yes.
Week to week, it's a lot for me, only because he's trying to get the catchphrase over too much. And I think if it was more sporadic, I'd be a little bit happier with it.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy the fact he's such a hip hop head, because I am too. So hearing the little things he throws in there.
Like Craig Mack, a flavor in your ear.
Cool.
He did that.
Yeah, the Craig Mack one's the one that
God.
fell on me. It fell flat on me.
Yeah, he did that.
I'll tell you what, I didn't like Beth Phoenix when she was helping out
no,
for a while.
no.
I like her on NXT. She's growing
Oh,
on me.
no. That's what I'm saying no to. No, I don't like her.
I think
I
she's growing on me. On
I hate
NXT.
Nigel more than he hates Morrow, I think.
Yeah, I think they're growing on me, especially when the fashion police stuff happens, and then she's like the week before when she told them about how they taught her to clean her pipes.
Oh, I don't know what that was.
Yeah,
You know who I didn't? You know who I didn't like in NXT? I did not like him. Fucking Corey Graves.
I like
I
Corey.
thought
Graves.
no. I said in NXT.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
Corey Graves is probably my favorite.
Yeah, I liked when Corey.
he's-
I thought Corey and Renee had really good banter back and forth,
she's-
and I thought
she's
they were
awesome.
getting really good, and then they separated them.
I thought Corey was a little rough around the edges.
Before,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Before before WWE nerfed Renee Young on commentary, her and Corey were the highlight of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think Corey is being totally groomed to be the guy to take over fully when Michael Cole is done,
yes.
and I like that.
I thought it was
I've
Tom
heard,
Phillips.
I've heard some weird things
Yeah.
about Corey Graves, but I mean, personally, I've heard he's a bit of a dick, but I mean, that's neither here nor there when it comes to his professional commentary.
Yeah.
And I've heard the same thing about Phillips as well. I think Phillips is from what I heard, when you do tryouts now at the Performance Center, you do them with Phillips. It used to be you do them with Cole, but now everything's done with Phillips now.
Yeah, and I thought that's who was going to be the next. And then they threw what's his face out.
Vic Joseph,
Vic
who I think
Joseph.
is very good.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. And I like Tom Phillips because he's a Philly guy.
And I thought Graves was a little rough around the edges when he first started doing commentary.
Right.
Before he got the call up, him and Phillips in NXT, without that WWE commentary micromanagement on them, were
Yeah.
excellent together.
That's where I didn't
Yeah.
like him because I don't know. It just fell flat for me. But then when I heard him on Raw, I'm like, is this the same dude? I mean, I knew who he was. It's just, I don't know.
And I'm starting to like the what's his name, Joe Galley on NWA Power. I think he's very good.
I think him and Cornette are a great team.
I love David Marquez too.
Oh,
as the,
yeah,
as the
he has
interview
that
guy.
old school feel.
Brad, how do you feel about NWA Power?
I've watched every single week while running the treadmill, and the show is highly entertaining.
Yeah.
It flies like that hour, or like just about an hour, just flies right by. And I dig the idea of studio wrestling. I think it's something that's been lost, and I on the indies especially, like, and the fact that the NWA is back doing it again, and Galley's been great as like I've never heard the kid until I started watching NWA, but his work with Cornette has been fantastic, and Marquez handling like the would have been like almost the Shivani role,
yep.
has been like really really well, because again he's an NWA promoter, so he knows the ins and outs of what he's doing. So we're using these guys in the right direction, and those little interview segments with Marquez have been some of the best.
Because he knows how to react to the guys. He doesn't treat every guy the same.
And what I love too is a lot of the wrestlers are cutting old school type promos on it too. Like you listen, you're like, Flair would have said that, or so, it's just the way they do it is great.
My biggest thing with the commentary team with AEW is, and then it's not me picking on JR, because JR is a legend and he's been doing it. He's one of the greats, but you can definitely tell that WWE is more like it's controlled what they said in a way, where because JR does make tons of like errors while he's commentating. During AEW this week, one of the finishing moves was hit on a guy, and he goes, "What a reversal!" And it wasn't a reversal.
They would be well served to flip Shivani and Jericho.
Yes.
Yeah.
He should definitely be the guy.
Been a lot for pay-per-views.
Yeah.
How do you like
I agree.
Excalibur?
I don't. To me, I think I even forgot Excalibur's there because all I hear is Shivani and JR.
I thought Shivani this week was getting drowned out by Excalibur.
Yeah.
Hey, Excalibur and Taz and Dark was very good.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
Taz was amazing with Excalibur on Dark.
And he hasn't done commentary
It was
in
so
6
good.
years.
You know who's awesome on commentary when he was doing it for a while there on WWE? Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Just
very
like when
entertaining.
CM Punk did it. That was good.
Yeah. So we'll jump in here at the
that show. We got it before he has to go here.
Let's talk about a little about this Saturday, the tag team tournament going on.
Yeah, for sure. Big 8-team tag team tournament. I kind of feel personally responsible for getting a lot of this set up. Back in May, I made my return to professional wrestling on a backbreaker show, and I kind of called out to promoters sitting at ringside. I said, "Listen, I think there's a great wealth of talent in this, in our area, and there's not a tag team title in this company. So let's work on making this happen." And they kind of got a good round of applause, and things are put into motion. Next thing I know, there's tag titles were bought, and I was told, "Hey, if you want a tag team title tournament, let's do this." So and pulling back the curtain, is I'm able to kind of select most of the teams that are in this tournament, and I'm really proud of everyone who's in it. Blue and Gold, Andy Header, Matt Turner. There's
new
a couple
T-shirt
of
coming soon.
Backbreakers teams. I can't wait. I need an XL. I think I've already pulled both.
Yeah,
XL.
they might be here tomorrow. Actually, the place
They-
kicks
Get outta
ass.
here.
Yeah, the place kicks ass.
They are sharp.
They don't
shirts.
not fuck around.
I got to get out to a
I
backbreaker
don't
show.
be able to
I'm in slacking.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, just in tag team. I don't know a lot of the tag teams that are not all the tag teams, but I don't know some of the tag teams that are in backbreakers. I haven't seen them wrestle, but I mean, the tag teams in this area are unreal. Like they're so good. I was saying to PPW, and I really hope they don't take offense to it, but like their tag team division is more entertaining than their heavyweight championship. And that's not saying a bad thing, because their heavyweight championship division is really, really tough too, and it's really talented. But their tag teams they have there are unreal. Like, and a lot of the tag teams they kind of cross over to everyone else. Like, so if that's something that's going on at Backbreakers, that's a great thing.
Yeah, and again, like pulling at the curtain, I've been a tag team guy my entire career. Growing up, I was always a tag team wrestling fan. When I broke in for the majority of my career, I was always a tag team wrestler. So when I kind of pushed hard for this tag team title tournament, I got told, "Hey, here, tag division is yours. Do with it as you please." So I was like, "Wait, really?" And they're like, "You bring in whoever you want, as long as it's reasonable, But you're right. Going to like the tag teams in this area, PPW, we'll touch on that. Main Event from Hog. Those
oh
kids
my god,
are
they're
amazing.
unbelievable. They're so catchy too.
Yeah, everything they do is crisp. It all looks great. Sambo Show, who we're now using, they are one of the tag teams in our tournament this weekend.
Phenomenal
Sam
guys.
Adams and Lobo. phenomenal. Exactly. And Sam's been around for over 20 years. Lobo, he's been around for almost a decade, and they're both, like, as a team, they've got such great chemistry. Me and Eric, my tag partner, worked them 2 months ago at PPW at the Steamtown Mall show, and it was like, it was probably one of the best matches I've had in a very long time, and I was very thrilled with it.
Wait, Sam Adams was around that long?
Yeah,
He's been
Did he
around
start when he was
forever.
8?
he's been.
He broke in. Sam is a little bit older than that. But I mean,
Yeah.
he
He doesn't look it. Yeah, he doesn't look it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He doesn't look it at all. He broke in when he was like 13 or 14 in Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
So Sam's been going for a long, long time.
That's amazing.
He put a picture of his like when he first started, and he was kind of heavier, and he kind of looked like a Spanish Andre the Giant. Like he had that
Very
look.
weird.
Yeah, and he's slimmed down. He looks amazing, and like I said, him and his partner are phenomenal. Their podcast is great too. Go check them out on Facebook. They're in the links. They're in the links below.
So wait, Brad,
You know, like in,
I was going. Go ahead. I was gonna say tell who you're up against first.
what was that?
I was gonna say tell who you were up against first in the tournament. You and Eric.
Oh yeah, so opening round match, myself, my partner Eric Pinhat, going against Chikara's Molly McCoy and Boomer Hatfield.
Okay, I'm not aware of
thrilled
them.
to have those kids. Boomer had they're a recently newer tag team in Chikara. Molly just debuted in the past year or so, but Boomer has been kind of teaming up with Dasher Hatfield, their grand champion, for some time. Super talented light heavyweights. I'm really looking forward to that match.
Chikara just got their own video game.
A baseball player and a hockey
God,
player.
it looks so good.
That's their.
Oh, really?
That's the gimmick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's a hockey player. He's a baseball player. They're amazing. I love it.
And he's an old timey baseball player because his
Yep.
dad is an old timey baseball
He's
player.
very old timey. Yeah, with the big mustache and the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
great.
Are they heels?
No,
If he ever goes heel, he has to start like wiping like the grease in his hands.
Got pine tar, yeah.
Yeah, put pine tar on his hands.
Pine tar for a shot. Ripping douche chests apart. Blue and gold facing Sambo show in the first round.
That's gonna be a good match.
That should be a lot of fun. Yeah,
Have you ever
it's
won a
good
tag team
time.
champion before, Andy?
not here. Well, yes.
So you've been a tag team champion before?
Yeah. Well, we won. What was it? GSW. That was.
You're the
yeah.
GSW.
Yeah, we never lost. Then again, never had our show.
Never
and then
lost.
and ACW one time years ago with geez, I can't remember his name now. He was like he had like a one man gang gimmick, but I think they just called him Gang.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good.
He was half moon.
Yeah.
Then also the stepdads are in this one as well. They're facing off against your guest from earlier tonight, Trajan Horn, and his partner AJ Evers. And then who else do we got?
CrossFit.
You're not too familiar too many backbreakers teams. Two of their teams are represented in Team Coach Fit, which is head by Coach Sean Calvin, and his two guys are Rod Wilder and Alexander Bateman, two kids who came out of the backbreaker school. Two bigger dudes, two hosses, as you would say. And they're facing off against the Crusade, which is Danny and Fuego and Aaron Roxas, being led by C.R. O'Malley. Again, all three of them are backbreakers kids that came out of that school. Super talented. And Roxas and Fuego are currently also in the tag team title picture down at Super Crazy Pro Wrestling down in Philly as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm missing anybody.
No,
maybe that's 8, I believe.
Yeah, they got them all. Yeah, and it's for the first ever
been
tag belts. Tag belts look great.
So you might wrestle a couple times.
The winner has to wrestle 3 times. Well, actually, the last two.
So whoever wins it all is going to wrestle 3 times.
Yeah, well, actually, the last 2 teams, because the last match, that's the 3rd time you'll be wrestling. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Like the old school King of the Ring, one night tournament.
yeah.
Quarter, semis, and finals all in one night, along with a title defense by the BBE champion Rex Taylor versus WWE legend, maybe, Gilbert.
Yeah.
And
He has a win over Andy.
Me too.
Had 2 wins over Andy.
That's right, he does.
I'll get him back one day.
And then
Watch your back,
Dante
Gilbert.
Dio is defending his cruiserweight title against Mike Mitchell and Squid Sterling. All 3 of those guys are phenomenal cruiserweights. That match should be a lot of fun too. So
Yeah, and
9 matches with
And Rex and Mike were on
Right.
PA Live today
Yeah.
with that. With
Yes, they were.
my love,
You
Haley
haven't
Bianco.
watched it yet.
I was on PA Live and I didn't meet Haley.
Ugh.
She wasn't there that day when I was on PA Live. I had the girl who looked like the girl from Modern Family.
She didn't look like Haley Bianco. Yeah.
I thought she was. I'm more of a darker hair girl, so I thought this girl was cute. But
It's so cool that Gilbert's going to be there, though, because whenever I think of that guy, not
think you saw
Gilbert, it's always Dwayne Gill and Barry Hardy
Oh,
just
hell
losing
yeah.
on like wrestling challenge and stuff.
So here's some cool little tag teams. I'm not sure if you've seen this or not yet. The AEW tag team tournament's going to end next week, and to present the winners with the belt is going to be the Rock and Roll Express.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. You know, the current NWA Tag Team Champions there to present the titles.
Do you think they challenge him?
Yes.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Hey, they already wrestled LAX already this year.
Can you imagine Lucha Brothers if they win versus the Rock and Roll Express?
Fuck yeah.
in 2019?
Dude, that'd be
It would,
great.
it would just be the most bizarre shit ever.
Dude, they are so
I mean,
stiff.
Is this
Lucha
the
Bros.
best time of professional wrestling?
Yes.
It's a
Hands
boom.
down.
Oh,
I mean,
hands down.
Hands down.
Then I mean, we could say that, but we also lived during WCW.
Yeah, but I mean,
and
this-
ECW, and you know what I mean, and like
this might shed like in a year's time. Like this might be better. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I mean, like when we were at New Japan, like I never thought I'd see the Rock and Roll Express in there with Naito and Sonata, and it's like
Yeah.
what?
But Liger's,
But there
Liger's
we were in the
retiring.
building watching
Yeah.
it happen.
Yeah, and then you
Very
see
odd.
Ricky Morton, Canadian Destroyer, Chase Owens, and the guy trains like what? And the whole place goes insane.
We're gonna once a little later in the show we're gonna open up our pro wrestling crate. But the last one 2 ones ago we got was the best of tag
team,
teams, and in the so if you do the box, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you get 2 T-shirts, 2 exclusive T-shirts, micro brawler, an autograph, and then 2 usually miscellaneous items. My autograph in that was the Rock and Roll Express.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
That's really
dude, it's
cool,
honestly
actually.
it's one of the best things I've ever purchased. It's
I
like
must sign up.
it's
I
like
forgot
$30
this
bucks.
one.
It's $30 a crate, but to buy a T-shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees
It's
after
going to
shipping,
cost you 35.
$30.
yeah, for one
Yeah.
T-shirt, and you get 2 in the box.
Yeah.
It's a steal.
And they're good shirts.
and you get an autograph.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So before Brad goes here, I guess anything you want to plug other than the show coming up?
I've been working on this show for like 2 months straight. That's all I've got going right now. Not this Saturday, the 2nd, November 2nd. Me and Eric will be up at Excite Wrestling in Binghamton, New York, at the debut of their new team facility / venue called the X in Johnson City, New York. So I'm looking forward to that too. We're facing the Ring Crew Warriors.
Cool.
That's you can always check me on Facebook, Brad DeMaio. I posted there. Dynasty War Machines, like the page there as well, and I believe it's Brad_DeMaio. DeMaio on the Twitter.
On the Twitter. Well, thank you. I really, really, truly appreciate both of our guests tonight for calling in. Definitely, anytime you want to come back on, if you have anything to plug, let us know. And I promise we will definitely get out to a Backbreaker show very, very soon. And we like to go out and see a show, and then we do like a car ride home review of the show. So definitely we'll look out for us soon at Backbreakers.
Please do, guys. We're there, I think, 2 more times this year after this show. So let us know, and we'd love to have you guys out.
Perfect, man. We're trying to make this Tornado Tag podcast a local thing. So we want definitely, we're loud. We get the shows and we're loud. We have a good time. We get the crowd into it. We get some chants going. We get some heckles going. If Andy's a heel of the show, we torture him.
As you should.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes out to rap music.
Oh, God.
We start chanting, Andy loves rap music.
Not what I would pick.
We gotta get a Yo Andy Raps T-shirt.
God.
going.
Yeah, yo, Andy raps.
Just give him a Morrow T-shirt.
If I could
Yeah.
get that singlet that he had, the same color singlet that he and News
Yo,
had.
baby, yo, baby, yo.
With that lime green.
But
Yeah.
Brad, once again, thank you so much for calling in, and I definitely appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you so much for having me tonight, guys. Andy, I'll see you Saturday, buddy.
Yep, see you later.
Take care.
See ya.
See ya.
Thanks, Grant. So yeah, we might be at the finals. Who knows?
Yeah. That's
They have to win twice to get there, though.
that's some stiff
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah, I know. My God.
I didn't realize how long your partner Turner's been doing this.
Yeah, more longer than me.
He's been in the game.
15 years, something like that. Yeah, he
guys
trained at ROH when Punk was there.
Really?
Yeah. So that's 2004,
Jesus.
5, right?
Yeah.
Your boy's got some history.
Yeah, and then he left, and then Austin Aries took over. I think there might have been someone else between. Danielson was there for a little bit. Might have been somebody else training too at that time.
We gotta get him to call in.
Earlier when he was talking, did he say something, or did somebody say something about somebody looking like Andre the Giant?
Yeah.
Oh, the one guy from the Sambo show looks
Okay,
like him.
So that's
Not
funny
now,
because
Not we used to. Yeah.
I follow a girl on Instagram now.
That looks like Andre the Giant.
Oh God,
No, but her boyfriend.
he kind of does.
He does.
Yeah.
He looks like
Dude,
Andre.
and it's just, and they're from North Carolina,
Wow.
which is funny because that's where Andre's ranch was.
Yeah.
in North Carolina.
Maybe that's his kid.
But I
You ever see his daughter?
No.
his daughter looks
looks like Andre.
She's
yeah.
a sight.
But it's funny because I would say, like, I would mess up like, dude, your dude looks like Andre, and gosh, it's on here somewhere. It's like she finds like a toy, like an action figure of Andre. She was like, "Look, it's Chris."
I've never. So remember the old? I don't know what the line is called, but other than
LJN.
the LGN. I had almost every one of them growing up.
They're worth so much money now too. if
I
you don't have
never-
them.
That's how you wrestle with them.
I never had an Andre. I never had one.
I had it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, I found Chris. Y'all.
That's funny.
That is great.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I had two Andres. I had the big, oversized, like
blue-
rubbery
yeah.
one, the afro and the blue trunks, and then the
Classic.
little tiny
Yeah.
black, like you could bend the waist
Do
back
you know
a little
that the Toys Netflix show? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So 2's coming out, like season 2, and they're reviewing WCW toys.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Oh, they didn't move at all. The old Galoob. Well, you had the rubbery one.
yeah, from
Yeah.
the first, Vader was
solid
like
rubs.
solid.
Yeah.
Like he was
He's like 400 pounds.
I had the
hard too.
I had the older ones. I had like Tom Zank and
Oh, man.
yeah.
and Arn and Sting. But then they had like the bigger ones that were like rubbery and like they were all the same height. Like the Sid one and the Ric Flair
Yeah.
one were the same.
All right, so we're gonna do the.
Can we do that? and then
We're
we'll
gonna
talk
do pro
about-
wrestling pretty quick.
We'll go back
so-
to NWA Power.
Yeah.
Let's talk about good wrestling.
We just want to talk about NWA Power.
All right, so the first thing we got here, I kind of showed the boys this in a group chat,
Yeah.
but I got a lucha mask.
Now,
so
when-
this theme,
when you
this-
got that
That's
mask,
not
you
a
pulled
lucha
that out.
mask. That's
Did you
an
have
old
any
school.
idea who that was?
No idea. I still don't. So this box is called Masks and Paint 2. So this is going to be themed around people who have wear masks or some type of face paint, or they have some type of Halloweenish gimmick, I guess
Yeah.
we'll say. So I pull out this mask.
And Jack thought it was Mass Superstar.
And
Yeah.
you're like,
Right, I was, yeah, I can't believe I didn't get it.
who?
Bill Eadie.
Yeah,
Billy
Axe.
So when I first
it's
opened
similar.
it, when I first
Right.
opened it, and I looked at it, I thought it was Blue Demon Jr.
Oh, yeah, kind of. I
because
can
it
see
does have the.
It's so it's not Lucha because it's you don't know who this is?
No, I do. I do
Okay.
not.
He was frozen in time for 50
Yes.
years.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. His real life, the real life guy, really good friends with. So is that too much?
Yeah, and not anymore.
Hey, Steel.
So it's Matt Classic, but I don't know who he is under the mask.
Right. Because he's from Chicago.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was in WWE for a hot minute.
Good friends with CM Punk.
Is it
Was
Cole
good
Cabana?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, when he was in Lucha or not Lucha Underground, Wrestling Society.
Society.
All right, so I got a Cole Cabana.
And his whole gimmick was he was a time traveler because
Yeah.
he's like Captain America, frozen in time.
Right.
Oh, okay.
He had the towel.
And he would only wrestle 1940 style. So when he take a bump, it was like, whoa!
Yeah.
He had
And
the high waist trunks.
yeah, and he wouldn't climb up like he would only go to the first row.
Yeah, and his name was Matt Classic.
because he was a Matt classic.
It's a very good mask. I mean, for coming in the crate,
for being free, and then his
it ties in the back real
his
good.
whole thing was he was supposed to look lame, so that's why it's not a Jushin Liger mask or
Yeah.
Mysterio. And he
I-
It's a mass superstar type.
yeah.
So
it's
getting
cool.
getting this mask, it did kind of inspire me to possibly get another mask. So I do have some of my Amazon cart that I might pick up.
oh really?
I found a really cool all black Pentagon Junior mask.
Oh wow.
It's like $4 shipping, but the mask itself's only like $70.
Yeah, that
What
ain't
did I
bad.
have?
So
Oro?
they
Yeah,
have
Oro, yeah.
masks. They have like the generic ones that are $20, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the ones that are like the 60 to 70 range. They're I forget what they're called. They're like they're in tiers. And then there's the professional ones which are like 200, or you can go more higher. But
Yeah.
like, the $70 ones are still not. I forget Lucha or High Spots has them.
Yeah, that's where I got my
Right,
lager mask.
Yeah.
That's where I got my
that's nice.
Oro mask. Years ago, like what was it, 2004?
Yeah, it was
2005?
It's like
back.
commercial something. Then you
There's
get
like
custom,
fan
which
masks,
is like
yeah.
But hey,
2,000.
the $20 mask that I got, it was decent. It was like
Yeah,
The
it's
Jushin
I mean,
one was
if you're
nice.
not gonna wear it, like
Yeah.
to wrestle, it ain't bad.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't give Andy or don't get Andy. You're Andy.
Yeah.
Don't give Tony any ideas.
Yeah,
I might run in on
That
you one
classic.
day.
Yeah.
Well, Andy's going to borrow that mask and take a run at Goldberg or Gilbert
yeah.
this weekend. I can't remember anybody's
Goldberg.
names.
You're
Yeah.
wrestling
Gilbert,
Goldberg.
oh my.
Bro.
If I ever did get a Pentagon, though, I would probably try to do a Halloween costume one.
There you
year.
go.
So this is one of the first shirts. I'm really happy with this one. I didn't know he painted his face, but this is called the Last Villain shirt.
No, Marty. Oh, there's like Joker on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Joe, I don't know
Yeah,
who's in the
it's
top
a bunch
left.
of villains, and then
Oh, Thanos. Wow, that's awesome. Darth Vader. I have no idea who that
Joffrey
is.
from Game of
Oh,
Thrones.
okay. And that's Harry
Well,
Potter.
The Harry Potter. I don't know
Who's
who's up
the
there
top
though.
left?
apparently Mar from.
I said Mark
what it
from
looks
Home
like.
Alone.
Yeah, that's what Brian said.
I know that's awesome.
We're just
Sure.
guessing.
But it's
So it's a Marty.
Wet Bandits.
yeah.
I guess Marty comes out with the plague mask. So
yeah, that's true. So that's the Last Villain standing shirt, which I'm very
I'm
very
gonna be
happy
real
with.
popular in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, when he signs. I'll just go to the next shirt. So this shirt, I don't know this tag team.
Demon X. Bunny. Is that Thunder Rosa?
This is Demon Bunny.
Demon Bunny. You guys know? Well, watch.
I don't want you to set your shirt on fire.
That's a cool shirt. I don't know who that is.
Is the one Thunder Rosa? She's
I know she has that look and power. They teased her coming in.
Demon Bunny. It's called the Decapitated shirt. It's Demon X Bunny.
I used to watch her on. Was it like the Creator? What was it called? God, what was that?
It's Rosemary and Allie.
Oh,
Allie's in AEW.
yeah. How about that? Oh, yeah, when Allie went nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she died.
Is that what the girl they killed?
Yeah.
Like they stabbed her on TV.
Yeah. Well, she died in the Nightmare Zone.
Oh, okay. Chainsaw Charlie pin.
That's awesome.
So I was kind of hoping for a Chainsaw Charlie autograph or Chainsaw Charlie because I knew Chainsaw Charlie was going to be in the box. I just didn't know what it was going to be.
I would be so disappointed if I got Terry Funk's autograph and it was Chainsaw Charlie and not Terry Funk.
And I brought up Terry Funk earlier.
Yeah.
How about that?
So this is the Chainsaw.
What if
you won't really see on camera, but I'll take pictures. And
What
put
if
up.
it was the Chainsaw Charlie mask with just an old ripped up stocking?
Yeah.
And it's like, why is there powder on it?
So I did know that I was going
Smash.
to get. Last month's crate was tag teams, and Axe was in the box,
Yeah.
and they said the other tag team member will be in this box. So I kind of knew I was getting smashed, but this
Are
is
you
the
getting
other.
Crush next month?
Probably not. I don't.
They
I
should
would
give
think
you.
the Crush.
They should give you Axe Smash 1, Moondog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Moondogs.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And then
God, yeah.
the Diva Diaries Sue Young DVD.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
So I don't really know.
I
who
thought
Sue
there was
Young
supposed to be a Joey Ryan DVD. Or is that next time?
That's next time.
Oh, okay.
is. So then the autograph.
I heard Sue Young's pretty good. I've never seen her wrestle, though.
This one's very cool.
This is the autograph.
Is it Okada?
Let me tell you, your world is about to change.
Yeah. Glacier, oh my.
We got a Glacier
Oh my.
autograph.
That's Cody's buddy.
What was the tagline for Cold is Coming?
I just said.
Our world is
Oh,
about
yeah,
to
about
change.
to- yeah.
Yeah, our world is about
Blood
to change.
runs.
Oh, my blood runs cold.
Blood runs
Dun,
cold is
dun.
it, yeah.
I met him when he came to Jakarta, and he was a very nice guy.
They should have teased that autograph for about 6 months before they sent it to people.
Ray,
Ray Lloyd. Yeah,
Lloyd.
very nice guy.
Did he do a gym teacher?
Yeah.
Coach Buzz Stern.
Yeah.
Coach Buster.
So next month's crate.
He sold the Glacier gimmick to Kaz Hayashi.
Yeah, remember that?
Right, yeah.
There's this one episode of Thunder where somebody's getting beat up and it's like the lights go down like somebody's going to make the save and Glacier comes out and he just does like karate moves on the outside and lets the guy get the crap kicked out of him.
Speaking of the jump scene this week, the surprise thing that happened at the NXT when the Undisputed Era was kicking Ciampa in, that looked legit. That looked like a real life jumping.
So when I watched that, what I noticed is Johnny Gargano sold the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
The way his head movement, the way his head bounced, I was like, either he actually caught him or he's been practicing how to sell that.
Yeah.
Because that was.
Do you remember a couple weeks ago when when Aleister Black and Cesaro had that match and he hit Cesaro with that spin kick?
Because it was a receipt. It had to be a receipt.
With the way he sold that, it looked like he legit knocked him out cold. Like,
I don't know about knocked
it
out
was
cold, but-
so legit looking.
There was one. What did we watch where somebody was super stiff with somebody, and I called out. I said it to Brian. I was like, "That's a fucking receipt."
Yeah.
like whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't think of what
It was something because it was just the impact, the way he hit him. I'm like, that just looked.
I'll tell you
way
what, man.
too stiff.
And even last night too, the Lucha Bros, they were stiff as shit on.
I think sometimes
on
they
Private
are,
Party.
yeah.
Like when they did that one spot where his legs were cupped and he was supposed to stomp on the back of his ass.
Yeah.
He legit stomped on his ass. Like
I forget what they call that.
And the guy was
Yeah.
like literally just like, oh, like, and then the spot where he jumped in the corner and then jumped on his back. He put all his weight
so it's
into
either,
on
it's
his.
either they
They're like the
put
new
all-
Steiner brothers.
Yeah.
Either they did that or they just it looks that fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks tough. But next month's box is going to be staff favorites. I think it's staff favorites too. Now here's people that are in the box. There's some good stuff here. So once again, you have to think
And this is every 2 months, right?
every month.
Oh, is it every month? I
Every
didn't
month.
know. Wow.
Yep. So this is every month. And if you do get a box, let me know and use my referral code because I think one of us gets something if I get so
Yeah,
many
you get
referrals.
20% off or something.
Yeah. So this is what's in the box, in next month's box. Ric Flair. Woohoo! So you're guaranteed
God
2
damn.
T-shirts, an autograph, or miscellaneous items.
I already have 2 Ric Flair autographs, so that's a problem.
Let's go for 3.
I don't have
Oh,
any.
baby.
So this guy in the box I can care less about. If it's a T-shirt, if you wear extra large, you could have it. I'm telling you right now. It's a Goldberg. It's Goldberg.
I don't want anything from Goldberg.
The other one I'm kind of excited about. If it's a T-shirt, I would still wear it.
Give it-
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Yeah, cutting and strutting.
Brutus
Yeah.
the fucking barber beefcake.
Yes.
Boom,
Young Bucks.
No.
No.
Young Bucks again. Yeah. So I hope it's on T-shirt. I just got a Young Bucks
Yeah.
shirt.
Well, they have 5,000 T-shirts.
You get the
so
Young
the
Bucks
odds are-
beach cowl flip flops.
The new tie.
yeah.
New tie. Then it's going to be a Jurassic Express item.
That's cool.
Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt.
or as Jim Ross would say, Jack Perry.
Yeah, Jungle
Yeah.
Jack.
Jungle
Perry.
Jack
Jungle
Perry.
Jack.
And
Jungle
then Joey
Jack.
Ryan, Flip Gordon. But I think they already said it's going to be a Joey Ryan DVD.
DVD. Yeah, it said it will be rated PG-13.
Yeah. So
Oh, someone's going.
So Joey Ryan DVD is cool. I'm a Joey Ryan
The
fan.
only thing I'd be unhappy with is the Goldberg
Yep.
shirt. I don't want that.
Everything else
I'd
I'm
give it to
excited
somebody.
about. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Watch I get like a Goldberg autograph or something. I
Yeah.
just fucking
Well,
hate my life. But
Somebody will want it somewhere.
yeah. So kind of. I mean, we'll get into it. SmackDown last week. I mean, it didn't really do much for me. Once again,
I'm trying to think. I always listen to review.
it was unmemorable.
I don't think I watched any of it. I always listen to review the next day.
Yeah.
And get it, and I don't even remember anything from it.
Did this week's Raw and SmackDown leave an impression on you at all?
No.
Raw had some good matches.
Raw
I
had
thought.
no girls on it.
Yeah.
The only thing with Raw that I actually enjoyed, maybe the match quality wasn't the greatest, but one thing I will give them credit for on Raw, and maybe this is like the new Paul Heyman thing where he's like really starting to show that they're letting him do what he wants. We have almost every guys who have been in the back collecting dust got work that night. A lot of
Street Profits were in the main event.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
So a lot of guys got to use their ring gear for the first time in a long time that week. So that I did like that
I
aspect.
mean, why
of
not?
it.
If you're paying someone, why not use them?
Who do we see this week that we didn't?
We got Zack Ryder and Curtis Hawkins in a tag team
Kurt
match.
Hawkins, okay,
I mean, they got squashed, but they were in a
Yeah,
match.
they're on the card. Yeah.
Actually, no, they didn't really get squashed. They put up a good match
I
against.
Think I think they're putting them up too because they're doing a tag team turmoil.
Yeah.
So I think that they're trying
Oh,
to get more,
yeah.
more screen time because it's like, let's get these are the guys. We don't want you just spring it on you.
Yeah,
last second.
I'm trying to remember other people, but there was other people who got ring time that.
Sin Cara.
I thought I thought
was
they
his
got rid of
return.
him.
That
They
was,
just
he was
re-signed
hurt.
him.
He was
Really?
hurt and resigned. So that was his return again.
I'll tell you what, man.
Why would you re-sign him?
They got some high hopes.
I like
for,
him. I like.
I know he's the second one. But
I didn't like him when he was like
Unico. Camacho was
the
Tongaloa.
Tongaloa.
Yeah, they have some high hopes for that young startup guy who got the match with Seth Rollins.
Humberto.
the Power
Yeah.
Power Ranger looking dude.
Yeah, the power. I mean, it wasn't a terrible match.
Yeah.
He looks good.
He's not my favorite new. I like Angel Garza, his cousin.
Yeah, the one in that wrestled Ciampa on NXT.
Oh
last
my
week.
god.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my boy. I like him.
So I mean, until Raw and SmackDown.
How
do
about
something-
the worst thing from SmackDown? Shorty G in that promo.
Oh, yeah.
I accept who I am. I was like, this is so fucking stupid.
Well, they-
let's look at who's smaller than you. Daniel Bryan, Rey
Everybody.
Mysterio.
He's not even that tiny.
Every
You know what's
cruiserweight.
funny about that? Shelton Benjamin's name on like social media is Shelty B.
Really?
It's Shelty B, and it's
Yeah.
been Shelty B for a long time. So I was looking. I'm like, I wonder if they're going to put Shelty B and Shorty G together.
Yeah.
Actually,
they were
Shelly
together. Remember when they were a
XB.
tag team?
They were a tag team,
Yeah.
right? That's what I was thinking. Like, and you said that they've had this. When did they do this trademark for Shorty G?
Oh, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
That was like 2
A
months
while
ago.
ago,
Yeah.
yeah. We talked about it on
It's
here.
so dumb. It's like, ugh. SmackDown really was the shits.
we got the return of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I mean, use that. I don't know why they.
Ricochet was an interesting choice for his first match back, but
I think it was to set up the 10-man tag at
yeah,
Saudi Arabia.
It was a good match though. I enjoyed it. Here's Jason Reynolds. It was a squash match, but Aleister Black got some action.
Back to using the kick. I love
Yeah,
that.
they
Yep.
want to just kind of make him look like a monster right now.
I say
did-
get rid of them stupid promos because they're
Yeah,
terrible.
they did the Rusev Jerry Lawler promo, which
Okay, yeah.
Sin Cara versus Andrade, which is a good match.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the match. I'm being really hard on it, but I think right now it's just like Raw and SmackDown aren't doing something to really catch your attention. But I think match quality for Raw was good overall. Looking back at it,
Going back to Aleister Black's like the promo thing,
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. They're having the AOP doing the same exact thing.
I know. Yeah, it's like they should meet up there in the same room then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like we're gonna kick ass and we're gonna come to your door.
Yeah. It's, then kick ass.
and then we speak in Spanish the entire time.
Yeah.
It's
Or,
not
it's not Spanish. It's
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, there's
whatever.
two different languages.
Yeah.
They both
Yeah,
speak.
the ones like Albania and the others.
oh
Yeah, something weird.
Yeah, that-
but did you notice Aleister Black is doing a Heath Ledger Joker thing?
Ugh.
When he's like, if he's like I'm going to kick your, like he does the like
Oh, really?
when the Joker would like yeah.
For me, it sounds like if Christoph Weitz was doing.
yeah, that's what you said. But
the-
I think it's more Joker when the way Joker would enunciate the words.
yeah. Viking
I would
Raiders
have
versus
him never talk ever.
Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. I think the mysterious of him not talking would be better. Then we got the Rusev encounter at the thing.
Yeah.
Then we had a Rey Mysterio promo where Shelton Benjamin came out and kind of tried to punk him, and then Cain Velasquez came
Shelton
out.
Benjamin sounded good though.
Yeah.
Usually for a guy who not known to not sound good.
That, how
and-
sloppy did the Kane thing look?
Oh.
That was awful.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
awful.
I don't want to watch that match.
No.
So then we got the Seth Rollins Humberto match, which was good.
It was good.
This gave it a C plus. I thought it was better than a C plus.
I like that one move they did where he like, I don't know, he does like a handspring off
Yeah.
the ropes, but then he like hooks his arm and flips him. I've never seen that before,
Yeah.
so I was like, that's cool.
So this is something that did piss me off with the show. So they said we're gonna get the OC and their mystery partner versus the OC versus
yeah.
Street Profits with a mystery partner.
Yeah.
And then it turned into a tag team match.
Right.
So what are you promoting as a mystery partner? If the guy never even came down to have your back the whole time, it's a run in at the end. It was just a stupid thing. It was
That's
stupid.
Vince booking. It makes no sense because he thinks that people forget.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
He does.
you just told us like an hour ago.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna forget in an hour.
Yeah,
mean,
it's so.
I didn't forget when Dolph Ziggler gave the United States title for no reason.
Brian would always say that. Like years ago, Brian was like, yeah, Vince just thinks that people like after a few weeks forget. Now it's like after a few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you show
But I
that
think
level
he
of not,
forgets.
if you show that level of not caring about your product, don't expect the fans to either.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Especially when there's other stuff to watch.
Yeah, Big Show put a whole thing out saying the fans need to stop trying to dictate what's going on TV.
Yeah.
No,
Fuck you.
F you, Big Show.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have been upset that the heel turn and face turn you every 13 seconds.
Yeah.
And take some pride in your company.
I don't like
because,
him anyway. So
I never liked Big Show.
But anyway, the ending thing was it was Kevin Owens came down and helped the OC.
Yeah. Even though they teased that it was going to be Matt Riddle.
What that picks up, I don't know.
Why would you put that Kevin Owens with the Street Profits?
I don't know. I honestly thought it was going to be Cedric Alexander because every single time a black
put
guy
black
needs
guys
help,
with
they
black
put black
guys,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what, because I was like, who do you think it's going to be? And he was like, we were like, first Brian goes, probably Cedric Alexander. And I'm like, right, because it makes sense.
Tyler nailed it with Kevin Owens. He called Kevin Owens from the start.
But then he said that. Then he goes, I don't think so. He's like, I think it's going to be Kevin Owens. And I'm like, I hope it is Kevin Owens.
So does Kevin Owens take the title off AJ?
Maybe.
Depends on what.
Remember when they had that feud before and it was terrible?
Yeah, it was like the
Which
match was
it's like
bad.
they're both really good.
Well,
but
he said that he was like, I think it was Kevin. He was like, I can't have a good match with AJ.
Yeah, that's weird. Sometimes you don't have chemistry with people.
Well, they've had great matches, just not in WWE. You ever watch where AJ gives him the Styles Clash off the apron to the outside in was it Ring of Honor or some kind of?
But was it just?
I don't remember them
Was
wrestling.
it just a move?
No, they had a match. It was a match in a.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
I'm asking, is it like the move that looked cool or
The match itself was good.
Was it?
Yeah, but that was one of the big spots in it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, who even? And even Kevin was said like in a later interview, like, I don't know why I even agreed to that. He's like, it hurt so bad. But so Raw, we had the Intercontinental match, Roman Reigns versus Shinsuke. If you thought that was going to end clean,
Maybe SmackDown, yeah.
yeah, it is. Welcome to
I thought
Roman
they were just
Reigns
going to
match.
put the belt on Roman and then be the end of it. Hey, it's a belt again.
Yeah, Shorty Gable versus Curtis Axel. That got an F.
Chris Axel, they fire him.
New Day and Heavy Machinery versus the Revival and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. That match did nothing for me.
Sucks about Xavier though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got hurt, yeah.
Tore his Achilles.
Yeah, that's
He'll
you
be
be out for a while, though.
Bailey
Maybe a
on
year.
Miz TV.
Oh, that makeup. Whoever's doing her makeup needs to be fired because she looked terrible. It made her look older.
The six-pack challenge match to determine the number one contender for the women's championship.
You're not a fan of Pam, are you?
I like her wrestling, but like
I look at her. I'm not trying to be that guy
Yeah.
to call by like a real name, but I can't call her Bailey anymore because she's not.
yeah, like
Bailey.
with that
She's-
short hair. Yeah,
She
should-
looks like somebody's old aunt named Pam.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like she's just old.
So we're expected to believe that Nikki Cross is now the number one contender.
yeah, because nobody else is. They don't have another good girl.
I would've-
Well, they have Alexa, but
I would have pushed Deville. I would have put Deville over there.
Where's she even at?
She was in that match.
Oh, well, oh, God.
Yeah, it was Carmella, Rose, Deville, Evans, and Dana Brooke, and Nikki Cross won.
There's no tag teams. It could have been her and Randy going for the tag belts.
Then we got Braun Strowman versus Drew Gulak.
Ooh.
Poor Drew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's back to PowerPointing. Yeah, it's such good shit. PowerPoint.
Braun Strowman and Drew Gulak.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Then we got Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan versus King Corbin and Shinsuke Nakamura.
I'm just holding out hope we will finally get that Daniel Bryan Drew Gulak match in WWE.
That'd be good.
I would love it.
Yeah.
I like wrestling.
The show felt like it was just on cruise control. Like, who cares?
Yeah. It was.
Who cares? I don't understand why they're putting out shit. that makes you want to turn the channel when there's other stuff to watch, when there's so much other stuff to watch.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be doing the opposite? We got to put on an awesome show so people don't leave.
I actually didn't watch SmackDown this week.
Really? I watched parts of it.
We were at Culture to Culture on
Yeah.
Friday,
Yeah.
and I didn't watch it on
I watched it
DVR.
when I
Well,
came
it
home.
sucked.
So then we have AEW.
All right.
So we had a very heated, not heated, but a very split version of how we're seeing these Wednesday night
Yeah.
things. Now, when I say this is not me saying I do not like AEW, because the internet is definitely torn, and there are fans who are very pro AEW, and everything else is absolute garbage.
Right.
And there's fans who are saying that no matter what AEW does, you will never be better than Raw and SmackDown, and you are nonsense because you're not WWE. It's
already better
It
than
goes
Raw and
back. It goes a very split down the middle.
All the best wrestling right now is on Tuesday and Wednesday, and whatever New Japan's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me going into this, there are certain things that on AEW that I wish Tyler was here, but he couldn't make it tonight. But he's at a concert. But there's some things that happen on AEW to him that were phenomenal, and to me just didn't do it.
Like what?
So we'll get into it. So
Okay.
Well, I'd like to have it started. We're in the match, and this is going to be the for the tag team tournament. And
Yes.
it's as soon as it started, match.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
that's
bell
great.
the bell rang by 8:01.
Yeah.
Yep. And the first match we seen was Private Party versus Lucha Bros.
No.
It was a great match.
Yeah.
It was a great match. I think Tyler was more high on the Young Bucks match. That match didn't really do it for
Young
me.
Bucks versus Best Friends,
Best
right?
Friends, yeah.
That one was good. I
liked it.
didn't see the other one with the Dark Order SCU though. I didn't see that match.
I like. I'm just going to get this out of the way. I think that it's too. Remember, the term spot monkeys.
Yeah.
Back in the day, people say that, and that's. I feel that they haven't really grown too much.
Private Party still kind of they're young and they're gonna work into it, but yeah, they're very much it's a stunt show.
I just hate that everybody has to do super kicks all the time. I get that that's their gimmick.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Who's the lighter haired one?
Nick.
He's-
It took me about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
That's why I
Good.
like,
He's
like
the
Private
good
Party.
one.
I have no idea which one's
He's
which.
good.
See, I like Matt.
When Nick does all his stuff, you're like, wow, Nick's fucking really good.
Dude,
Yeah.
the brown haired one.
Yeah.
The one that's got the black hair.
Yeah,
One has
that-
the one with the brown hair is phenomenal.
They had a match. Was it the Private Party match? Or was another one where he just had this one segment?
Oh yeah, that
He
was
just wouldn't
last week.
Stop
wasn't it?
moving.
Yeah, it was like holy shit.
And he always does that thing where like he does the dive and then he does something like a suplex and then he just like goes right out and moonsaults out to the outside.
Right.
The only thing with this card, now I understand you're setting up a tournament, but man, like I wouldn't have put tag match.
yeah, that tag match, yeah. I would've broke it up.
I would have broken it up a little bit too.
Even if it was a quick job match, and you
We'll
had
learn.
one-
It's so
yeah.
early,
You had
Now-
a girl beat someone, and they need some more promos. Like
Yeah,
even
I
little
agree.
video packages,
They
like when they're
need
walking to
some
the ring,
promos.
one of them old school packages. I'm so and so, and I'm
Yeah.
whatever.
you need something.
NXT
because-
needs that too.
yeah.
Yeah. Because the only way you're getting it, that's my only thing that's setting me back from AEW. As someone who has never been invested in this company before, and I've never been invested in the indie scene, and I didn't watch New Japan,
Yeah.
I didn't watch
You don't
Ring of
know
Honor,
who-
I don't know these people.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for me to get behind them because I don't know them, and you're not doing promos.
I think at the same time though they're kind of like let the work speak for themselves, and then you'll get to know them.
Well, the thing is, too, is every week. So, now this is not me saying I hate it. This is just me speaking from both sides of the coin here. You have the same people who are loving AEW and hate WWE because they're sick of seeing Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and the same 5 guys on TV every week. But AEW has yet to really showcase that many good other people because they're still showing the same 5 guys every week. Now, I know it is 3 weeks in and they have a pay-per-view immediately coming up, so they're trying to get those storylines out now so the next pay-per-view comes. So I know I'm maybe a little early on the criticism with that, but I think there could be better ways to sneak some guys in there. But also,
I mean, they've gotten a few.
I'm a fan of just shitty jobber matches like Aleister Black and what was that guy's name?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
It does.
I like that. I wish AEW would do that. Like bring in a jobber. Like we don't know who
Yeah,
this
a
guy
local
is.
guy.
Right.
And that's fine.
They did that last week with was it the Bucks? It was somebody.
Yes, a tag team beat up 2 jobbers.
Yeah, and it was they were the same jobbers that wrestled Heavy Machinery
Yeah,
on SmackDown.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were on AEW?
Yeah, they were on AEW.
Yeah, one was like Alex Reynolds. I think they're
Yeah.
from CZW.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Blame Eric Bischoff.
The Beaver Boys, I think they usually
Yeah.
call it or something like that. Yeah.
So then we had the SCU versus the Dark Order.
Yeah, I missed that, so I can't say. The Dark Order, get some new gear and get a new gimmick.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't
So
like it.
I like SCU though. I like the one finisher they did. SCU. Wait, SCU. See you later.
Do you remember when Scorpio Sky was like 160 pounds?
Yeah, when he's tagged with Excalibur, Aerial Express.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know Scorpio Sky, and I'm not
He's
even.
great.
I'm not just giving him a pushover because I put a picture of SCU shirt and he's the only one to like it. Thank you, Scorpio Sky. But I like him. I think he's a great look.
Awesome.
And he's really good in the ring.
I think Kazarian shined though in this match.
I'm always partial to him because I made him laugh like 20 years ago.
Yeah. So not only did he really impress me the week before, where he with the whole shoe gear.
Yeah.
But the whole Lucha Bros jumping Daniels, and then now there's like that heat there going into the main match. I'm a little more invested. Like last week, I can care less about the tournament. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, this is a runaway for the Lucha Bros.
Right.
Now you built up this angle where there's something going on there. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So now I'm
conflict.
I'm excited for next week. Like now I'm excited to see SCU.
That's
versus
what
Lucha Bros.
NWA does phenomenal.
Yeah.
They get you interested in whatever the main event is going to be.
This was the match of the night for me with AEW coming up here. Omega versus Joey Janela.
I thought it was great. Maybe not as good as their unsanctioned match that was on Dark, but I thought it was very good. And for Joey Janela, where people used to hardcore guy, well, this match was pretty good. They didn't do much. Do anything hardcore.
So
Yeah, he hung with Kenny. I thought it was really good.
I thought Joey Janela showed he has this ring presence, and he can story tell in the ring.
Yeah,
his facial
they do
expressions.
have a good charisma them too, which you wouldn't think they would. But Kenny and Joey, that would be the shits.
A lot of to me, I didn't really know Joey. So all I know of Joey is he does a comedy show. So he's very gimmicky and comicky and funny, and he's very doesn't take himself very seriously.
If he would have came to the ring if he would have had a little 20-second promo.
Yeah,
I'm the bad boy, Joey Janela, blah blah blah.
So how I said Joey reminds me of Trajan.
Yeah.
Once Trajan steps in those ropes and he comes down, he has to
and he's doing
and then he steps in the ropes and that bell rings and he starts working. You're like, good for fucking him.
Yeah.
Like he's good in between the ropes. Joey showed me that, and he was against arguably the best guy in the world right now in wrestling, and they had an amazing match.
I thought it was very good.
Do you not agree with that?
What, best guy in the world?
Kenny?
No.
Who's the best guy in the world to you?
Okada, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I haven't seen Okada
if you're gonna have 5 matches, 5 top guys in the world, and they're probably in the top 5.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah, Kenny's really good.
The Cody promo happens now. The only thing I don't like about it is you're trying so hard to like.
I thought this was phenomenal.
I loved it.
The only bother is we're not from that old promotion where the visual barrier's there and I can come up there. I was like, do you really like?
Well,
we get it.
They're always going to do that.
We get it. You're bitter.
I'm just amazed at how much Cody has become a star.
Yes,
it's amazing.
I agree with that.
I'll tell you, he did not like Cody after Cody left WWE.
Yeah,
he would shit on Cody. He's like, he's overrated.
Mr. 3 Stars. Yeah,
right. Yeah. He did it, but ever since he's been in AEW,
he's shined.
He's loved.
He's killing
Cody.
it.
Cody and Dustin is probably my favorite match all year.
I hate Dustin's fucking gear, by the way.
I hate the red and black too.
I like the red and black.
Yeah.
But do you remember when he did the natural thing and he was wearing like the red leather pants and then the black, like the black button-down shirt with the sleeves cut off? He was the natural. I like when he did that.
Yeah.
It was like, just come out in that.
Yeah, nice one. The gold dust suit with red and black.
I'm a huge Dustin fan, and I'm
me too.
I'm not only a Sonny fan because he's from the area and he has gained respect.
Sonny Kiss, not Sonny Tammy Sitch.
Yes, Sonny Kiss.
That's
and he's gained so much respect from local.
I like
people.
that they tagged them up. I'm excited to see that match.
Yeah,
next
man,
week.
I'm really excited to see that. Like that's a local guy. Like that's a local talent from our area.
Wait, Sonny Kiss is from here?
Well, no, Pennsylvania.
He's from
that's what I meant.
Yeah,
he's
like and he's wrestled a lot of these promotions that are around here.
Oh, okay.
And now he's tag teaming with Dustin Reynolds, which is one of arguably probably one of the top 5 greatest characters in WWE history with Goldust. You know what I mean? But the promo was good, and then Cody goes up and smashes the window.
I thought the pop that Dustin got was great. Well, Cody came out with a huge pop. Then MJF came out, it was like Stone Cold came out.
Yeah.
And then people popped for DDP.
Yeah, DDP.
I mean, MJF, he's going to be bad guy soon.
I wonder if DDP has it in him to just do one match where he loses to Jericho in 4 minutes.
Or if they do a 10-man tag or
Are you an MJF?
I like him promo wise, not so much in the ring.
I'd rather see him in a ring.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not. I feel that
funny.
I think everything he says is just easy.
Yeah, it is easy.
I think it's easy. Like you stink. Go like that's just that's the vibe I get every time I hear. I'm like everything you do is just anybody can say that.
The funniest thing I think the 2 best things that came. Well, most of the best things that came out of that promo. It's just you put a microphone near Chris Jericho's mouth,
Oh, it was wonderful. Yeah.
and he will.
What are you doing with your scarf? Who wears a scarf?
You know, scarves are stupid, you idiot. Like, who wears a scarf? You made a career out of wearing a scarf.
right,
you know what I mean?
That's just I love. I
You're
do.
gonna come up here?
I have a love-hate relationship with that guy.
Oh, Jericho?
Yeah, because he loves to post. He loves to post pictures of Benoit, and then he just posted a thing of Lawrence Taylor, and I'm like, I wrote on the thing. I'm like, wow, you really love your murderers and rapists, huh?
Yeah.
Whoops,
LT.
because LT, yeah, he 16-year-old girl,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, 100%. He did. He definitely did that.
Yeah,
And
I don't know. I
then
don't like stuff like
Jericho getting pulled away by security and having the cry face and saying, "But I bought a ticket."
Yeah, that was cool. You had Cody punching through the thing, even
Yeah.
though it was fake glass. It's still cool.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
definitely
it made
cool.
him look really cool, and I thought the brawl was great. I thought the
that's-
whole segment was great.
That's why I asked Brian. I go, where was that filmed? And he goes, in the thing. I'm like, oh wow. So they must have had to hurry up and get
Plexiglass
yeah,
in there.
Break,
Yeah,
well, it's
the
like
sugar
breakaway.
glass or whatever,
sugar,
yeah.
It looked like plexiglass.
Yeah.
You can't punch through plexiglass.
The synth stuff, yeah.
No, plexiglass is
It was probably sugar glass.
yeah, it's sugar glass.
It didn't shatter like sugar glass.
It-
It
was
broke
big,
in a huge piece.
It was big, yeah, but plexiglass, if you punch it, it's not good.
whoa.
Plexiglass is plastic, so it's
yeah.
made to.
It's that really chintzy plasticky glass thing because
Right.
it broke in like two big solid pieces.
yeah,
so
it's
just
movie,
literally
it's movie.
it's like
prop
pick up and
glass.
walk away with it because sugar glass you got to vacuum everything out. And
Usually, yeah, if it's done right, I would just go.
stuff. Yeah. This match. I'm sorry. I mean,
The
I like
Baker
the
match?
Bucks. I like
Oh,
the
the
Bucks,
Bu-
but the Young Bucks best friend. Maybe I'm just not into the best friends thing. It didn't do it for me.
I liked it.
I
think
always
it was,
love
it was
when
great.
I always love when they do the Rainmaker pan out after the
Yeah,
hug. That's
yeah.
always
Yeah.
great.
The Bucks hugged and they got
Yeah.
some heat. And
Yeah.
as Orange Cassidy did his lame super kicks and got decapitated. I was like, that was
I
cool.
loved it. I thought it was funny. Just and he
yeah,
the light pat on the thigh. I was like, I love this.
Would an Orange Cassidy match go over on TV?
It could.
I don't depends. But he can. He's a great wrestler. He was in True a lot.
Yo,
We always had him in True.
What I think they should do with him is just have him get his ass beat, and then maybe have him.
He
just
gets so pissed. Yeah, he
fuck
starts
somebody
wrestling,
up.
yeah.
Like he
See,
did.
I honestly,
because he
one of
can
the-
really go. Yeah, he was
one
good
of
in
the
Chicago.
funniest matches I've ever seen him in, and it was not just funny, but it was actually a good match once they start going. Was him and Joey Ryan,
Yeah.
and it was so entertaining. Like,
I believe Trajan wrestled him too at True.
yeah, this match to me.
I like Nick got to shine a little bit here. He did his stuff. Where
So
he
this
kept on
is the
kicking by
Dr.
people.
Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter.
Okay, well, Britt Baker's over in Pittsburgh.
I like this.
And they did the thing that WD won't do is put the guy over when they're in their hometown.
Yeah,
Right.
You know, it's not hard.
So
Britt Baker does not do it for me.
I like the really.
No,
I liked the girl. What was her name?
Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
So first, when I saw the JH, I thought it was Jimmy Havoc.
So did I. It's like, oh, we're getting Jimmy Havoc.
yeah, I go Jimmy Havoc, and
And
then
the skulls. I'm
right,
like, okay.
exactly. That's what I was like. Oh, it's Jimmy Havoc. And he goes, no, it's Jamie Hayter, and I was like, who? And
I didn't know her from Hole in the Ground.
but I liked the vicious fucking wet willy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was during the commercial break. Yeah, Britt Baker, she needs some work yet in the ring.
Yeah.
she
She's,
kind of doesn't have a personality either, really.
Jamie Hayter's
Looks
Beast
great.
Priestley's tag partner in Stardom.
Okay.
She looks great.
Yeah.
Then we had Moxley versus
And
Pop.
with the Adam Cole insert picture there
Yeah, Adam
Yeah.
Cole was
When they're-
on both shows.
when they were flashing through pictures of Britt like in Pittsburgh when Adam Cole.
Oh, really?
I didn't even notice until afterwards because I was
Yeah.
looking at her.
I like her Steelers. I hate the Steelers, by the way. I hate the Steelers, but I liked her Steelers logo. But instead of the stars, she
His
had the
teeth.
teeth.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was
like
cool.
she always has good gear. She looks great.
So then we had the Mox and Pac fight.
I liked it.
I understand why
I
they
don't
did.
think I'm the biggest John Moxley fan.
I'm
Like,
not either.
yeah.
Mox does not do it for me.
The
He
stuff
didn't-
in New Japan, phenomenal.
I'll tell you though.
yeah,
I'll
the
tell
New
you.
Japan stuff was good. I don't know, just something about this stuff.
I mean, it just was. I mean, you're not going to get a pay per view quality match all the time on weekly
I
TV.
never liked
so-
John Moxley when he was John Moxley
Really? Years
originally.
ago?
I liked his Joker-esque promos. There was
Yeah.
another guy that was like, all right, I'm going to do the Joker promo.
Yeah.
And he would do it like in some back out. I think that they need to do that with him. Give him like a Raven type thing. Like have
this
him-
whole like he escaped from prison and he's like a weird psychopath.
No. He's just, the prison's an analogy for escaping WWE.
I understand, but it doesn't come off.
Well, his whole psychopath thing was his gimmick before WWE.
Yeah.
I know, but he's good on the mic.
Yeah, they should
What-
let him talk.
Towards the end,
yeah.
towards the end of his WWE, when they're like, just give him a mic, let him because he's gonna leave anyway. Just let him go talk. He shined. Like
He did,
I was
yeah.
not a Dean Ambrose fan until Dean, like 3 weeks before Dean Ambrose left. And I'm like, he's killing it on the fucking mic. Where was this his whole career?
Well, they didn't let him. They didn't want him to be that guy.
And then he was just like in cruise control.
And now he's just now he's just psycho guy who just like kick me, I don't care. And now he's just like always just a super hard tough guy.
But that was his thing though before.
Yeah,
And
I don't know.
when he did that, like the way he would wrestle, and I didn't like his wrestling shit in CZW. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
His promos were decent, but when he came over to WWE, they didn't want him to be crazy, like psychotic.
Yeah.
They wanted him to be wacky. That's why they gave him the wacky line.
Yeah.
You
They were
remember
calling that clothesline the
They
wacky
called it
line.
the fucking wacky line.
Yeah,
So
but-
they didn't want crazy. They didn't want good promos from this guy.
Yeah.
You know.
My favorite thing he did in CZW was that video where he's doing Point Break, but it's Terry Funk and Dusty Rhodes.
That was really funny. And what's this? Rich Swann.
Rich Swann's playing guitar in it. Yeah.
And the only other thing is it ended in a time limit.
Which that has to set up a 3-way for the title, right? Because it wouldn't have got a title shot.
Supposedly the reason they did it is to show the audience that it can happen. That's why they said they did it.
Well, they could always do a thing where maybe
At least it wasn't a pay-per-view.
maybe one of them loses on the pay per view and one of them wins because Pac's wrestling Hangman and Moxley's wrestling Omega. So maybe one of them loses and one of them wins for the pay per view, and the one that wins is going to get the shot.
Yeah.
Or they can always just bring it back.
And then we'll just quick get through NXT here, and then we'll.
I caught a little bit of NXT.
I-
Tegan Knox has Captain Marvel gear, but it's the wrong colors. But I mean, I get why they changed
Yeah,
it.
I loved it. It started.
I'm happy that we'll get to it.
Yeah, it started off with a match that we talked about last week, and one of the reasons why I was super excited to tune in to NXT this week. I'm very excited what's going on in the women's division. I think the way they're setting up the women's division right now in NXT is better than anything.
So I didn't see the whole first hour. Who was in the first match?
First match was Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley.
Oh, wow.
It was a good match. It was a really.
Did Rhea win?
Rhea won. There was a little bit of controversy there. It got a B. I would have gave it probably be an A minus, but I'm also very biased. I like both of them in the ring. They both came off very strong.
Mm-hmm.
They both came off as they're overpowered, like they're very powerful women.
I like sexier Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
I think Rhea Ripley's pretty. I don't.
Really?
I think she's good looking. I don't know.
I'm not into her physically, but I like her. She's a good wrestler.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot there as far as like.
Oh my God,
stuff.
I think
Yeah, she has a good look though. I mean,
She's
metal
going to kill on the main roster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
so-
and the story there was that Io Shirai comes out to try to help Belair, and then Candice comes out to try to neutralize it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Rhea Ripley hits the finisher and wins.
See, when I did that, because I knew they were going to have a match later for a shot at the women's tag titles, I thought they were going to bring them back and do like Bianca and Io against Ripley and Candice, but they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This match blew me away. So we've been seeing Cameron Grimes on NXT TV, and he's been doing these quick 3-second finish matches.
Yeah,
so
double stomp and that's it.
and his look was kind of weird to me, where he had like a hat and a cowboy.
So what he's doing is he's doing it was a Leonard Skinner. If you look at old Leonard Skinner albums,
Yeah.
that's why he's wearing that type of hat.
I thought he was doing like a Bruiser Brody.
I didn't know what
thing.
the
I don't
hell
know what it
going on.
was.
Yeah,
but
it's old Leonard Skinner.
Steampunk cowboy.
this got a B plus. I think that's a fair thing. I would have gave it B plus, A minus in that era. But I thought it was a very good match.
I didn't get to see it. So.
They beat the shit out of each other. Like it was
good.
it was
It was
crazy.
good.
I thought it was a really good match. It showed like they have great chemistry, and Riddle can work with anybody. It looks like, you know what I mean.
I was surprised they beat Grimes. I was surprised at the match because I'm surprised they beat Grimes because they were pushing him really hard.
Yeah. But they were kind of putting it off as like this match can end with any way. Like one of these guys can hit a big shot.
Yeah,
so they kind of
submission.
gave it that real lift, that
Okay.
realistic
I think what
feel.
they're doing with that is you're showing how good what's his name, Grimes.
Yeah.
How great was that suplex?
How good, right? How good he is, but then it's just how much better.
Yeah.
Right.
The way
Yeah.
they booked it is Grimes has been running through people, but now this is his first true test.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he had a great showing.
It was a good match.
But he just came up short. Now this is where you kind of have your little comedy,
Yeah, those
your
are
comedy
Forgotten
gig.
Sons.
All right, so the Fashion Police came out last week as construction
Okay.
workers. Now this week they came out as like pilots, like Top Gun.
Yeah.
It's funny to me. I think every show should have at least one comedy spot in it. This feels that. This scratches that itch for me. Not only did the Fashion Police come out and scratch that comedy itch for me, but I got to see another guy who I think could be the next Ricochet-ish style, blow your mind away. He could steal a show at any point in time. Versus a tag team who I think visually look good. I'm not into their persona thing with the Forgotten Sons. But Isaiah Swerve, who was Killshot.
Oh, Swerve Strickland.
Yeah.
Shane Strickland. Yeah, he's very good.
So
Forgotten Sons suck.
yeah,
Fire
Thank
'em.
you.
I don't think they're terrible in the ring.
No, they are.
I just don't see
wrong.
their thing.
Well,
Overruled.
here's the thing: when you
Yeah.
have so many good people, Why have someone that's bad?
Well, they say that
that's okay.
who was the one that tagged with Buddy Murphy?
Wesley Blake.
Yeah.
Wesley Blake. They say he's actually a good worker.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say Wesley Blake's a good worker, but we know that the other two.
So there was a spot in the match
Gunner.
where I think they were
Gunner.
going to do a spot where they were going to suplex the one, like they were going to do a suplex to the outside, and the other two were supposed to catch him. And then the spot fell through because Isaiah slipped off the top turnbuckle. So on the fly, you could tell it kind of happened on the fly, and if it didn't, they fooled me.
Yeah.
He just knocked him down, stood him on the apron, and just like touched him on the chest and said, "Lean back," and then jumped off the top rope, jumped off his chest, and springboard moonsault to the two guys outside. This Isaiah is gonna be.
Shane, can you please call him Shane Strickland?
Oh, sorry, he's going by Isaiah.
He's Shane Strickland to me forever.
Yeah.
You know, I wrestled him in a 4-way ladder match one time.
Really?
Yes.
He fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Where was this at?
What was the name of it? It was up near
Did
Scranton.
he come out to the
Shaka
Ain't
Khan?
the Ain't Nobody song?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he came out to Shaka Khan.
When I seen him as in Lucha Underground,
Yeah,
and he jumped
Skill Shot,
off
yeah.
and he jumped off the office to the ring.
Yeah.
And he just had that thing where he was kind of like Deadshot, where he would like stare at the guy and just be like,
Yeah.
I'm coming for you. He won me over there. So him in NXT, man, I'm super excited
I
to
don't
see
know
what
why
he
they
does.
changed his name. I guess so they can own it.
I saw him a lot in Wrestle Circus when they would stream on Twitch, and he was their champion at the very end.
Yeah.
I think.
I think a thing is he doesn't really have a big name.
Yeah.
You know,
So they,
The crowd,
they
the
feel they can
crowd
change
loved
it.
him in NXT.
I love that
because-
they
because
kept Swerve, too.
They're a like smartened up crowd.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they said they're going to get away from doing Full Sail and start traveling and going on the
I
road.
heard that by the beginning of the year.
I don't think it's a good move. I think
I
that
do. For TV, it's great, dude.
Yeah.
They're gonna get a good crowd.
I don't know if you noticed, but they lightened up the lights.
they did.
Yeah, it's not as dark.
I like the fact that the crowd loves that. I like where it kind of stays.
I mean, you can go
I'm
back.
with you. Yeah,
You
right.
can go back, but I mean, I think at NXT where they
But
go, the crowd will be hot.
What if you go to like Nashville one week and the crowd just
Well, I mean,
they're
that's
not you try to put a like when you put a new character over in Full Sail
Yeah.
and those Full Sail crowd knows those underground guys because they go to those indie
But now
shows.
they're on TV. You're on national television now. Where before it was like everybody's coming to you. Now you're going to other people like on TV.
Yeah, but you can get a dumb crowd and it can kill a guy's
But
push.
that can happen for anything.
Sure, that can happen. Yeah, but it's already killing them right now. Being in a smaller venue, have a bigger venue. People want to see bigger. Like if they ran them like they run. What are the ones they run? Like they're pay-per-views.
Takeover, yeah.
Takeovers.
They're done in bigger.
And
things.
and the crowd loves it.
Yeah, usually whether they go,
Oh,
it's always over.
they'll do one.
I just hope the crowd's energy stays up. I really do. I honestly, I think when it's all, so the ratings, we'll get in that second. So
Well, I mean, look at AEW. That crowd was hot all night.
yeah, Garza and the only problem with that,
yeah, it's my boy.
Garza and Gallagher,
Gallagher.
I wasn't really into this, but I was like,
It wasn't
Really?
it wasn't amazing, but I still thought it was a good match.
Yeah, the first time I seen Garza,
I like
seen
Jack a lot.
Gallagher
All right,
for
So for me, I love Gallagher. You don't let you talk about everybody over in UK look alike and
he
everything.
just stands out. At least.
He stands out.
He does, but he's and Morrow talks
That
about
headbutt he does is crazy.
Yeah, well, Morrow talks about how he was like he was trained at Billy Riley's Snake Pit.
Yeah. Well, he was talking about doing MMA again.
Oh, really?
They were talking about him doing Bellator. Yeah.
I love like all the.
Sorry.
That's my favorite type of wrestling. Like I
That
when I
strong
grew-
style or
strong. No, that well,
like British strong style.
British
Catch,
strong
yeah.
style. Yeah,
real,
catch.
real technical. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't mind the style. I just don't like that everyone looks exactly
like
the same.
Bri, who was my favorite wrestler growing up?
Steve Regal.
No, as far as that stuff goes,
I know who you're going for.
Malenko.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
I don't
yeah.
know why he's
Yeah.
not Malenko didn't because I have Flair or Malenko were my favorites.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then-
thinking like 80s for some reason. Yeah,
Oh
Dean
no,
Malenko, yeah.
90s. Yeah, Malenko was my dude. You know, I like that. So I like that, but then I like Angel Garza too, he's a nephew of Hector Garza.
Okay.
From
Garza
WCW.
looked great. He looked good.
I love that dude.
I'd jazz up his gear a little bit. Looked a little plain, but
Well, he came out in pants and then took his pants
Yeah,
off.
he always
he
does
did,
that,
he
yeah.
did that in our match too. I
that's,
watched.
that's
no,
like
that's
his
what he's
thing.
been doing. That's
Where he
his,
lost.
Yeah.
But I'm like, more than just plain white tights because they remind me of underwear. So that's
Yeah.
why.
The only thing with the NXT going back,
His moonsault was good, but it's kind of a little lackluster in the day when people
Yeah.
are doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
the only thing that going back to AEW that bothered me a little bit, it was the Jericho going to the booth thing. I think that could have been done in between matches because
Oh yeah, they should
for a
have.
very big
they
chunk
took
of
away
that
for that match. Yeah,
this is the entire crowd.
yeah. Oh, those Jericho do. Yeah,
I didn't like that.
Didn't you see that transition, like all those roles that Garza and Gallagher were doing?
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
It was a good match.
I probably came in a couple minutes into it.
I know Tyler said that he did not like the match. I enjoyed it. But they gave it a C. I would have gave it a little higher.
I think the only bad match on either show was the 6-man tag on NXT. I think that was the only. And Britt Baker matches, whatever. But
Yeah.
I think the only bad match was
We
that
missed the 6-man tag.
What's that?
6-man tag. Oh wait.
Forgotten Sons on NXT.
Oh, okay, that one. Yeah, I did miss it.
It wasn't bad. It was. I think I think there was a lot of things that you could have pulled out of that match. I think the worst match.
Like the Forgotten Sons.
What I said about the Garza Gallagher match was I needed 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
I needed at least 10 more minutes
Yeah.
of that match.
So then we get the this is the match I think for me was the worst match.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about this.
So
yeah,
this is the
'cause-
number one contender match, which I don't even know how to say this is a thing, but Jessamine Duke and Maria Shafir versus Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox.
And just think, there's people that want to see 4 Horsemen women versus 4 Horsemen.
I want to see it for the novelty, for the
Yeah.
just
It would be good if you get those two eliminated quickly.
Yeah.
So I think Marina Shafir has some.
that's
has
the
some,
darker haired one.
I think
She's
she
pretty.
has. I think she has some. Look.
moderately
I
hot.
think she has some potential.
Yeah.
Jessamine Duke is trying too hard to be like, do her like, you ready? Are you come out? Like,
Yeah.
And she literally is just like a beanpole.
She needs to get some muscle mass or eat. Or
she has to
something.
eat.
I
Yeah.
think she's vegan, so she doesn't put on a lot of
That's-
muscle mass.
Well, then go eat fucking cupcakes.
yeah.
Get a bunch of Beyond Burgers.
They are very, very green, and they're definitely getting a push because of who they're friends with.
Yeah.
But I do
they're
like
trying.
the fact I do like the fact that they're at least in the ring getting some work.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
They need a year on the Largo loop. And
They do.
then They might be ready.
Now the cool thing about this is
I like Tegan. I don't really like Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai is all right.
I like
Yeah.
Dakota.
I don't like her go to kick. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Now the cool thing about this is this opens up a crazy door where now the women's tag team division is being defended on 3 shows.
Yeah. I just put on NXT.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the women's tag team, and I think the women's tag team champions now are amazing, and I think it's a really
And
good
they played that video, and when Kyrie spoke English, I'm like, she sounds so hot.
Yeah.
She's speaking English.
Dude, I love both their makeups and stuff
Yeah,
now.
they're-
I think it looks great. And I love the fact
I'm all
that
for that. Should be a good match.
yeah. Now, hands down, my opinion. If you agree, you agree. If you don't,
And I do.
I don't understand how you can't. Because what I say goes. No, I'm joking. The best match of the week. I didn't watch NXT Power or anything, but there's nothing on AEW that even comes close to the main event of NXT. That Roderick Strong, Keith Lee, and Dominic
Let's just say Dijak. Just say
Dijak.
Donovan Dijak.
Yeah. Donovan
Wow. Holy
I thought it was
fuck.
good.
There was times where I was watching it and I was like, human beings that big are not supposed to be doing that.
You know what? When I was watching that with Keith Lee, I don't like his gimmick. I think I would make him supernatural.
He's so
because
good.
all the crazy stuff he could do. I would make him like Black Undertaker.
Yeah. He's so fucking
I
good.
hate how. Did you say he's so hood?
He's so
It
good.
might be. No, actually, he's when he talks, he's very much a white guy.
Yeah.
I don't like how boring like bask in my glory, like how it's
Yeah.
I hate that phrase, bask in my glory.
Unless you're going to be a preacher guy and
Right.
be over the top.
Yeah.
I hate that he does like the rock thing.
Wait. Preacher guy with his manager, Reverend Devon.
Yeah,
Let's
there
do
you
that.
go.
I don't know what I honestly like. I think maybe that's the only thing he is lacking is that maybe that character.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because what he
he's
does in the
incredible.
ring speaks for itself.
Oh my
So
God.
Brian, I'll tell you, I did not like him at all. I didn't like him just based off of that. I
Yeah,
was
the
like,
character.
"Ah, this is bask in my glory, f this guy." And then I started watching what
It's kind of like Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's character rubs people the wrong way, and then you see him in the ring, you're like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. That spot that he does where it's like Keith Lee's on the bottom, and then he's got somebody up.
Oh, when
and
he goes for the suplex, it looks like they're
suplex.
almost going to fall, and the Keith Lee kind of falls, and like, ooh, that was rough. They made it though. They made it work.
He made it look really good the way he like saved that, and then
Yeah,
kind of just pushed
because
it.
Dijak's going for the suplex, thinking Keith Lee's going, and then they kind of don't, and then Roderick starts coming back down, and Keith Lee kind of sits down for the power bomb. It's like, ooh, what you got? And then Keith Lee almost falls out of the ring.
Yeah.
But they did a lot of cool stuff in this. It's crazy how athletic he is for a big guy.
Yeah.
What they say weighs 350.
And he's not young either. He's like he's like in his mid 30s.
Well, they showed you when he first came to NXT and he was in the crowd, he had gray hair.
Yeah.
And then he dyed it when he started wrestling.
Yeah, fucking crazy. And then just Dominic, dude, man. The only time
He's good.
The only time I've ever seen him was these 2 matches with Keith Lee, and
I think his finisher looks a little awkward. The whole
fight forever. I can watch.
Yeah.
I can watch those 2 wrestle every week.
and Roddy's not a real small guy, but he looked tiny next to these two.
Well, I like that he was picking Dijak up for shit.
Yeah, for the backbreakers and stuff.
How would you feel if it got to the point where they maybe tease or hint a Keith Lee Dijak tag team?
Nah.
I think they work better as
say
singles.
no.
Yeah.
I say no to that one. But it was a very good match.
if-
I was watching it like, wow, I forgot this was even on.
It was unbelievable. And then at the very end, it looked like Roddy fucking really crushed Keith Lee in the face with that knee.
Yeah.
It looked like it connected. But once again, that's
maybe
the,
say, hey,
that's the mystery of what if you're letting someone give you one or
Yeah.
if you just mess up. But Rodney sneaks in and
Roddy
takes-
makes everything
And there
look
was
so
that
good, too.
Dijak did the I don't know if it was Roddy or Keith Lee, the off the top rope Falcon Arrow, Mitchell driver.
He did a fucking suicide like a fucking front flip.
Oh yeah,
out of
Keith
the-
Lee did that. It's
Yeah.
like, I was like,
As we
whoa.
learned in AEW, no one kicks out of the Falcon Arrow.
Yeah.
Until they do.
Yeah.
Wow, it's crazy.
And then everyone else does the next match.
So then the Undisputed Era comes down and they beat up Keith Lee a little
Oh,
bit, kick
this.
him out of the ring, and then Ciampa comes down, and then Gargano comes down, and then Finn Balor comes down. Which
And we're waiting for the fourth guy.
Yeah,
like,
they set it up so you're like, okay, who's coming out to
who's
even up the odds?
Who's the fourth guy that's going to be on their team? And we were like, who is it? And he's like, oh, it's got to be
Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
But here's the cool thing that I liked about it too. So I don't know if I'm weird with this, but I've been noticing Finn Balor has something on his hand.
He's got a new tattoo.
I was curious how far it went up,
Yeah,
but it's just a hand
it's
tattoo.
just a hand.
Yeah. So and then he throws like what is it called, the Pele kick or
Yeah, Pele.
yeah. So he throws the
The
kick.
like backwards kick.
Yeah, the
Then he
backwards-
starts to take off his jacket, and as he starts to take off his
He
jacket,
just throws this weird, like the Pele kick, crushes Gargano, and Undisputed Era lay the most realistic jumping beating I've ever seen in pro wrestling. It looked like a World Star video. The way they were stomping the ring and hitting him and punching him.
It was an old
Ciampa.
school horseman beatdown.
It
That's
looked.
what it was.
It looked legit. It looked like Ciampa said, "Kick the shit out of me."
So what are they going to do now?
By the way, I love the video. It was on the Facebook page of the little kid trying to run it back.
Oh yeah.
There's a little kid in Full Sail. Like his dad is holding him back because he wants to go beat up Finn Balor.
I say let him help. Let him help.
When Finn Balor kicked him through the crowd and there was the plant.
Oh
audience,
that
Right
Chinese.
behind that plant audience, this kid is like trying to fight his dad to like let
I
him go
didn't see-
because
oh,
he's
wow.
going to go after because he hit Gargano.
Well, they tease it where Finn's going to join Undisputed Era, which I don't want. I want.
I don't think it's
separate.
gonna
I think he's gonna be like a lone wolf.
And then he kind of just walks off.
yeah, but he kind of put a gun out there.
Yeah.
So
The real rock and roller.
will you get the OC versus the Undisputed Era? Are they?
I don't think you're gonna put AJ and them down in NXT.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe Survivor Series. but I don't know.
AJ's was tweeting the shit out of it. The OC is like, "Welcome back, Prince."
Yeah.
Like they.
What if he changes his name now?
That would be great.
That would be perfect. Oh, I'm not Finn
No,
Balor.
I would
I am
love-
Prince now.
I would like to see them in the
Prince
War
Balor.
Games.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
Well, we thought that that's what they were setting up with Finn Balor, Ciampa,
The good guys versus-
Yeah,
Undisputed.
it really opens the door because now tag team wise,
Maybe you do put Keith Lee with the DIY guys, and you throw in somebody else, and it's against
Dijak.
yeah.
Dijak. Yeah.
I would put him in there. I mean,
So Finn's just showed you right there that he's not interested in Ciampa and going for the title. So you have that makes a clear path for Ciampa and
Cole, yeah.
and Cole, and now he's just this is the match I wanted to see anyway was Finn Balor versus Gargano.
And that's what NXT did great is you want to watch next week to see why and what they're
Yeah,
going
because
to do
he's
with
gonna
it.
have to do a promo and say why.
So somebody
he
I
did
would
what he
bring,
did.
I bring down. I don't know what they're doing with them, but if you kept Gargano, Ciampa, and you needed to bring somebody else, I don't know why. Just because I like him, I would bring Pete, Bruiserweight.
Pete Dunne.
Yeah,
Pete Dunne. I would bring him in.
But they seem to be doing him in
Killian Dane.
Punishment.
Apollo Crews.
yeah,
Do you like him? Do you like Punishment?
I
Martinez?
don't like him. People said that was his best match last week. But
I thought it was.
yeah,
I
it probably was, but I don't like him at all.
Dunne's so good that you can put anybody with Pete Dunne on this.
and then they're starting to hint what's his name Tyler Bate kind of coming back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They should have him come back.
Yeah.
and they can bring his tag partner.
I
and have
want
him
to
tag
see.
up.
I know you don't. Again, you don't like.
I like
those,
Tyler Bate.
but he looks just like all the other guys.
I know, but I
All wearing
seen
shooter boots. And fucking mustaches.
I seen Tyler Bate in NXT without him being in NXT UK, and he stood out to me because he's just super strong for his size, and him and must like. So I knew the mustache. What are they called? Mustache Club or
Mustache
Mountain.
Yeah,
Mustache Mountain.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't tell you their guy's name.
yeah,
if money was
so
involved.
Mustache Mountain is the only thing I seen on NXT. And then they're like, Mustache Mountain is going to NXT UK, and then I
That dude
tuned
was like
in.
his like trainer. Or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah,
like-
and then I tuned in, and I was like, everyone on NXT UK is Mustache Mountain.
yeah,
yeah.
Like,
they all have short tights. And
I
Yeah.
so if like so Brian would tell you if I did my own dream like promotion. Oh God, I would want it to be like a throwback where everybody had like tights and shooter boots. because I care more about wrestling than
Yeah, I'm gonna pee quick.
Yeah.
So you guys can wrap up the NXT and you can jump right into.
Yeah,
Unless
absolutely.
Do you have a
We'll
game?
jump
Do you have
right
a game
in.
this
No,
week?
we're gonna jump right into NWA Power.
Oh, yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, Power Talk.
Do Power, and then we'll jump into the
Well,
talk.
I mean that's good because NWA Power is close to that.
Yeah, it
You know,
is.
to what like I like old school wrestling. Like when we had the one guy on earlier before.
Yeah, Trajan. Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about how when he first started wrestling, he talked about kick pads.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I just wish more people would care about shooter boots.
Not it's like Suzuki. That's, that's like the person. That,
And it's funny because Roddy has the
Yeah,
shooter boots.
he does, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of like anybody that
not
rocks shooter
too
boots.
many people do. Like I don't know anyone on
They're
the indies
hard to
that has it.
find.
Yeah.
Fucking go search like high spots or
And
something.
to get them. Yeah, I
for
would
shooter boots. You can't find them.
Yeah, you'd have to special order them, like
Yeah,
pro
you
wrestling
have-
boots from Puerto Rico.
You're gonna have to ask like wrestlers, like, hey, where do you get these fucking shooter boots from?
So, see, with NWA Power, it's all about the tag division this week because you had the Dawsons and you had Eddie Kingston
And I
come
thought
out.
I was like, oh, rock and roll coming out? Are they coming out this?
'Cause we
one?
know
I'm like,
it's
when are they
happening,
coming
yeah.
out?
And yeah, so they're Homicide and Eddie Kingston are calling out the Dawsons.
I
Eddie
like how
Kingston-
they start the show, and then Eddie Kingston comes out and starts cutting a promo, and then Joe Cornette's like, I don't know what's going on.
Eddie Kingston's got a lot of fire behind him.
does.
And,
Yeah.
and I never really liked him.
Me either. I'm not the biggest fan.
I
of
never
him.
liked him, but he's dropping weight. He looks like in way better shape.
He does.
And he's got people talking like because he comes out and it's like people are like, oh, this is the best promo ever, and I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's
He's
fire.
doing good, yeah, and you believe it. You kind of want to see them versus the Dawsons now, because they
Yeah.
ruined their tag team title
Yeah.
match last time.
and then you had Aaron Stevens coming out with his pirate
I
thing.
liked it.
With the movie that she has one line,
Tropical Pirates.
yeah,
I
It's
am
like-
not Captain Morgan.
And he does this thing. I'm like, I was surprised how much comedy there is in NWA.
Yeah, it's
For it's supposed to be like a super serious
So-
show. There's a lot of comedy.
they're supposed to be like bringing back that studio Georgia wrestling. It's Memphis.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very Memphis.
So I saw this lot like I'm exaggerating by 100, probably 10 different people saying about how like I don't want comedy in my wrestling. Like when
Yeah.
I watch wrestling, I don't want comedy. It's like, then, dude, you're fucking for the past 30 years.
Yeah.
You know,
never watched Boogie Woogie Valiant, like Jim Valiant on there.
any WCW we've ever watched, any WCW we've ever watched, or WWF or ECW or anything, there's been comedy.
Yeah.
There's been comedy in every fucking promotion. I don't know, I dare you to find one promotion that doesn't have some
Yeah,
comedy.
maybe Bloodsport, but they probably have one
Yeah.
wacky thing too. Like even like in Japan is the Yano, so it's like
yeah.
Every single promotion has.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that comic relief. There's a mixed bag, and that's what NWA
I was
does so
surprised
well.
how much there is, and some of it like it makes sense. Or even like Dave Marquez will make a face, and like the guy would just cut. And it's like,
Waffles and tire iron.
oh, that was hilarious, Tony Falk. And then this week it's like that bald head. It's like,
Yeah, the,
do I have hair or is it invisible cream? I'm like,
invisible
what the
hair.
fuck?
I didn't watch this week yet.
Oh, that's there. And then it's a Nerd commercial, the Nerd Girl commercial.
Oh, there was Who is the Mark? That was
Yeah. Who is the Mark? And I was like, what?
Oh yeah, they had a Sue Young teaser.
Yeah.
I think it was no.
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa. Yeah, Marty Bell wrestled this week.
I like Marty Bell. I used to,
Yeah, she wrestled some job girl.
let me
yeah,
tell you,
she
she's
looked
super
like a-
approachable. Like
Really?
online to talk to, I
Yeah.
used to shoot the shit with her all the time.
wow.
Well, she's Dominican, right?
Yeah.
Well, Andy's gonna be wrestling in PPW very soon then.
Yeah. They always put me with the girls for some reason. Last week she wrestled, or not, but Sienna, Allison Kay wrestled
Yeah.
Ashley Vox, who I've been on shows with. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, I know her. So
Yeah, that was pretty good.
yeah, that was
match,
pretty
too.
good. Yeah, I thought this one was pretty good. I thought, what's her name, Marty Bell?
Yeah.
Maybe needs to
Superman
talk a little
girl.
bit more because I thought the job girl was talking more than she was.
Yeah.
and that shouldn't be like
Well,
the job girl should be. Like,
Are you talking about the girl that's dating Aldous or whatever?
no.
Oh no. Well,
no.
oh my.
Jesus
The girl that's dating all this is Mickey James. Camille is actually with
the girl
one of
managing-
tag team champs.
managing all this, yeah.
Did you see what Aldous' fucking thing is?
Yeah, yeah.
What's causing
What's
all
causing all this?
Fucking perfect.
And I never really cared for Nick Aldis, but like in
Oh,
these
he
3
is so
episodes, I
great.
like him.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
He is so
that girl
great.
who's managing her. That's an Instagram account to go check out.
Camille.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's causing all this
Yeah, what's
is
causing-
fucking amazing.
And they keep teasing the thing like, why won't he let her talk?
Yeah.
You know?
What is she gonna say? Something?
Yeah. She probably like, I'm dating so and so or
Well,
something.
then they did a thing where, like, wasn't it last week where he was like, there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he did kind of the same thing this week too.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, well, Camille, do you have anything to say? And she's like, And it just looks at the camera. It's like,
And then you have Eli Drake talking Tim Storm into teaming with him. Then Tim Storm blows it.
yeah.
Which
I'm seeing a Tim Storm heel turn eventually.
I thought Eli was going to turn on him.
yeah, I see. I thought that first, and I was like, is Tim Storm going to turn? And
That keeps you guessing.
yeah.
Why is it so good?
I don't know. It's like
Because
it's so
such a
fast, but
simple-
they do
Yeah.
like little promos that okay, I know why these two guys are mad, and I know why they're going to wrestle.
And you know something about the character.
Yeah.
And
I get it now. I get now why people back in the fucking late 80s
Would go nuts?
Yeah, go nuts over it. I
You
get it now.
fucking they get, like
I said to him, I'm like, dude, we're taking a trip to fucking Georgia. You know
Yeah,
this, right?
yeah.
Like, we're going to Georgia.
Yeah,
I want a shirt and everything.
That's gonna
Yo,
be my.
It's like the next set of tapings is going to sell out immediately. Well, that pay per
the
view already
pay-per-view,
sold out.
the tapings are still tickets.
I wish that they would take that set,
and go on the road.
go on a road,
Yeah.
right? Like find like little studio places.
Yeah, like I doubt they still have a studio, but in Philly there's the old Channel 12 studio, WHYY. It's where they first shot Double Dare.
Oh wow!
And they first shot
Yeah.
Finders Keepers even before Double Dare. I knew somebody that was on Finders Keepers.
Wow.
They would shoot them in the TV studio, like
They would shoot
Channel
them
12.
there.
yeah, that's right. What should
They would shoot them in a TV studio. How about
They would
that?
dispose of them.
But-
that's gonna be my Sunday. I'm gonna catch up on all of it.
Oh yeah, it's really easy to watch.
Yeah,
And
it's-
the commercials are fantastic. But yeah, like Tim Storm for how old is he? 52 or something?
He's
still
up
pretty
there.
good.
52, 53,
And
yeah.
they make you care about him.
He's got that GH
Mama
gut,
Store.
but you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
better than
Well,
what I'm-
anyway. And Eli, I like Eli Drake. He does my finisher, Kryptonite Crunch. I don't know. I probably did it first, but it's okay. And then what was it? He Thunder Rosa. Like every week they introduce
Yeah.
new people, which is pretty cool.
And then they do have that through line too. There's like all the Sting, the Dawsons, and Kingston.
Yeah, and
That's,
I know.
that's what I want.
Sandow.
That's what I want AEW to do. I feel that with AEW, because when AEW came out, I was like, all right, I want WCW. This is what I want, because I want it to be the new WCW.
Yeah.
I think Cody does to a certain extent, but the other guys don't. Well, anyway, I'll get right, just real quick. But for AEW, I feel that they put all their guys out there, and I know what they have, and I feel that I'm not going to be hit with any surprises. With NWA, it's a small thing, but yet I feel like they're doing what I want AEW to do.
Yeah, kind of. And then like little promos, little videos,
Right.
vignettes, which are great. Then I know who this person is.
Yeah.
Or they cut the promo after the match. I'm like, okay, now I know who Ricky Starks is. He's pretty good
Right.
promo.
Oh yes, Stroke Daddy.
Yeah.
Stroke Daddy, yeah.
And I'll be spending your money, or whatever he said. But yeah, I think it's a great show.
And I love that, like,
Who would have thought?
and there's always that defined thing, like everybody wants to go after Aldis, everybody wants to be
Yeah,
the champion.
every single person says, I want to be the champion.
Aldis is putting over Ricky Starks, like that would be my number one draft pick. I never liked Aldis either, and he is so great as that champion.
I like. Who's the other guy that's there that I'm like?
How did Aldis get the belt back from Cody?
He beat him
At the one
in a
pay-per-view,
wrestling
it was
match.
like
NWA 70. It was
Yeah.
almost a
Okay.
He
year
beat
ago.
him in a wrestling match. Astute observation.
Thank you.
Now, another weird side note.
Why I'm the brain.
Kenny is the AAA champion.
Yeah,
now?
but he didn't come out the belt, which is weird. But the Lucha
mentioned
Bros
it,
came
though.
out the belt, but maybe because they want
They
attention
mentioned
on
it.
the AEW belt.
They
During
mentioned
the
it during the
show.
Lucha Bro match that Kenny beat Phoenix.
Who's the guy in NWA that I was like, this guy is totally doing like old.
Josephus.
Well, he's doing Terry Funk on that one.
Yeah, and he's old time jobber.
And I think
like
that
the Monkeys.
I think the bald lady is his wife
Really?
from that commercial thing. Yeah,
Well, they said Josephus helps with like editing and stuff.
yeah. He's friends with Corgan.
Yeah.
Oh God, is he like? Will they put his real name out like Bruiser Brody or like Frank editor Frank Goodish?
they probably do. Yeah,
like producer Virgil Runnels.
because it's him and Dave Lagana and Billy Corgan.
No, who's the other guy in NWA that's like?
Well, there's a lot there. Eli Drake is doing
Maybe it's Eli Drake.
Austin.
Eli Drake.
It's like
that's what-
half
he's doing-
stunning
That's what I said. I
Steve,
was like,
half Stone Cold.
He's doing stunning. He's doing stunning Steve. Eli Drake.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, you can see that there's a lot of old
And
stunning.
he has
Steve
his
there.
vest. so-
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like,
which is okay. It fits for that. It's crazy. And then like they have Cole Cabana there, and he's gonna tag up with Mr. Kennedy. For
Yeah,
all people.
and then Colt Cabana was like really doing like a Roddy Piper cadence in that
Yeah.
one week.
yeah, it's like they're all just trying to.
They're all just they're trying to be.
ripping off all the old guys.
hey,
that
rip off
ran
an old guy,
through.
have fun. It's
Yeah.
like
Why not?
okay.
It's okay. Who's gonna rip off Ricky Steamboat?
Somebody will.
You know.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, we still haven't seen
Next week
everybody
somebody's
yet.
gonna come out with a list. Daddy.
Yeah.
You know,
Let me tell you something here.
So
Great show.
I don't want
Trevor Murdoch could do
I don't
it.
want to cut it off.
Trevor
But
Murdoch.
we are hitting like the 2.5.
Oh, boy.
mark,
Oh,
and
wow.
we got to get to Bobby.
Okay.
All right. So I do remember the quote now from NXT that was said.
okay.
So they said something about the British guy said something to Renee about, or not Renee, to Beth Phoenix about her picking up the tab at dinner or next time they go out, remind, because she was saying that she called it about this one guy being good, and he said, next time we go out, remind me the tab's on you or something like that. And she goes, yeah, you'll be picking up the check. And Monaro, I can never say his name. Morrow said, yeah, I'll pick up the check and throw it at you. And then he said to the late great Bobby Heenan.
Well, because I thought he called her Bill, and then he was like, I mean Beth, and then said something. I thought he was correcting himself.
Yeah, no,
Maybe I heard him wrong.
the thing was, yeah, you'll pick up the check. I'll pick up the check because you make more than me. And he goes, yeah, I'll pick up the check and then I'll throw it at you. About saying something about joking around like I'm not going to pay your dinner or something like that. And they said it was a Bobby Heenan thing, but
Bobby Heenan, I'm sure there's something about doing a check.
They're always talking about being cheap and everything.
Yeah. Now, one of the things we'll get into here, but when I was looking up photos to use for him, man, it was there's a lot of different versions of him where it's where he's like heavy and then thin, but my God, this is one of the things with him that it was like honestly heartbreaking. And like first time I seen it, it almost brought a tear to my eye because there was a while there where I took a break from wrestling and I didn't want anything to do with pro wrestling. I was a mixed martial arts fan. I was really into sports and I was like, that wrestling. I've outgrown wrestling and I don't want to be a part of it anymore. And then I came back to it. And I remember we were sitting around a table one night. We're talking about some of our favorites. I was like, man, I always loved Bobby the Brain. And I was like, I wonder what he looks like now. And my God.
Yeah, I try not to. It was the throat cancer. They removed part of his mouth or something.
Same thing with Roger Ebert.
His from his ears down was
they had to remove his jaw. Yeah,
and he was like,
he had that like open mouth. But there is a really funny photo. It goes to show that even though he, his cancer was so bad, they had to remove it. Where he's with Piper and I forget who else it was, but he's literally he can't control his mouth. He's wide open, and in the picture, he's flipping the bird.
Right. Yeah.
He would do that a lot later on.
Yeah. So I mean, he kept his personality.
He was friends with that Cornette. He was good buddies with Cornette.
Yeah.
Like right before, when after he had this, not the stroke. What the hell?
Cancer.
The cancer.
Throat cancer. Yeah, of all things to get for him, man.
Was it throat or jaw? Like
or something.
I think it spread to his jaw.
Spread to his jaw.
It had been horrible.
But it was like after he still had the. I guess like one surgery or something.
Yeah.
So like he had a little bit of a speech impediment. Yeah, he was at Cornette's house, like just kind of like doing a tour through that. It was like such a different.
Yeah, because for a while, he had the first surgery, like you said, and then
was he mute at the end? Like, was he able to talk?
No, he couldn't talk because it was like jaw.
You have to be able to move your mouth, and he only had half a mouth.
Just imagine the stories he could have like, you know what I mean, like
a Bobby Heenan podcast.
Yeah, towards the end of his career, the stories that he could have got off his chest.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Well, he did write 2 books. One was more wrestling, and the other one was like more like a self-help book.
Really?
And his book is very funny. He wrote it with Steve Anderson. Was the ghostwriter on it. He did cartoons for Pro Wrestling Illustrated for a while.
Okay. All right, well, let's get into it. This is Brian's gonna be taking over this week. This is his topic, and it's Bobby the Brain Heenan.
It's Bobby the Brain Heenan, born Raymond Lewis Heenan. It was Raymond Heenan was his real name. Born November 1st, 1944. 8th grade dropout. 8th grade dropout. He had to drop out of school to help his mom and his grandma.
Back in the day, you could do it. Drop out of the store and be a car salesman.
Yeah, and he got into wrestling super young. He was from Chicago, and the big promoter in Chicago, Illinois, Indiana, all that area was Dick the Bruiser. Okay. He had the WWA there, and he would start just collecting jackets, selling programs, anything you could do to get his foot in the door. And then eventually, by the time he's like 16, 17, they put him in the ring. And from what he said, he said he knew wrestling was predetermined, but they never really smartened him up. They just put him in the ring with somebody who just like put a hold on him and wore him down and everything. And he was Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan. He was Pretty Boy Heenan, but I think there was another Pretty Boy. And for a little while, he wrestled and managed, because one thing he said is he would manage like a wrestler and wrestle like a manager.
Yeah.
Like he would always be just a cowardly chicken shit wrestler. But when he was managing, he would try to get involved as much as possible.
Yeah. He wasn't afraid to show some blood either.
Oh, no. And the thing is, easily, I think, the greatest manager ever. And they'll always kind of break it down where most people will say if you have to say greatest manager, they're going to either say Heenan, Jim Cornette, or maybe now Paulie Dangerously or Paul Heyman.
Or Mr. Fuji, obviously.
Oh, God. Mr. Fuji.
Jimmy Hart.
Sherry Martel.
Jimmy Hart was up there. Sherry was great.
Yeah, Sherry was awesome.
But usually you're going to hear maybe and his grandmother, and so he dropped out of high school to help make ends meet, and then he very quickly got into wrestling, teenager, and he was managing Blackjack Lanza was the first main guy He made Blackjack Lanza a big star, managed Angelo Poffo, Randy Savage's father. The Assassins, which this was before Jody Hamilton. This was Guy Mitchell and Joe Tommaso. And Guy Mitchell would also wrestle unmasked as Guy Heenan sometimes. He wrestled the Valiant Brothers. And so that's where he really got to start with Dick the Bruiser and everybody. And that was called the WWA.
Okay.
But then his big break came in the late 60s, early 70s when he goes to the AWA. And this is where he becomes the Brain. This is which I think he took from Eddie the Brain Kretschmann.
He's the Brain and he dropped out in 8th grade. Real quick, if you
was
notice,
very smart with the
if you notice in the
comeback.
video, there's a weird little chop there. For some reason, the camera did turn off, but we caught it really quick, so you didn't really miss anything. So we're just gonna do a quick little snip there. So if it does look weird because I suck at editing, you know why. And then the audio, if you've been listening, you heard the whole fumble. So we'll keep it in there for you guys.
So in AWA, he comes in, and around this time they're bringing in this major team from California, and it's Ray Stevens and Nick Bockwinkel. And Bobby Heenan and Nick Bockwinkel would come together and be a pair for a long time because Nick Bockwinkel was the #1 heel, and Bobby was his manager. This is where you had the Heenan family start. He took that from the Manson family.
Yeah.
And he brought back Lanza. They brought back Ray Stevens, Bobby Duncombe Sr., and in 1975, in January 1975, in Chicago, somebody fired a gun at Heenan while he was managing. And Heenan wasn't hurt, but like a bunch of people around the shooter had hearing loss. And he loved working with Bockwinkel because Bockwinkel was too smart for his own good, he would say. And Ray Stevens was like Heenan. They would just like fuck with Bockwinkel because he said in his book that Bockwinkel was the kind of guy where if you asked him what time it was, he would tell you how to build a watch.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And there's this thing on a plane where he's like, Bobby, Ray, do you know what a paradox is? And he's like, yeah, that's where you put your two boats. and then Ray Steve's like, no, it's two of those long dogs. Like, he had great.
That's funny.
He had great stories on planes because he was on a plane with Andre once. They were flying to Japan.
I know this one.
And they're on a plane, and they go to Andre, who's this legendary drinker. What do you want? He goes, screwdriver. And so the stewardess leaves and comes back with like a Phillips screwdriver. And Andre goes, what would you give him if I asked for a Bloody Mary? and Heenan goes, if there's a giant asking you for something, don't bring him tools. But he always had that quick wit. He was always playing jokes. One thing he would always do, even in like non-fans, if he was out somewhere at a park or something, he lived in Florida later on, and he would be at like Busch Gardens or something like that. If somebody would ask to have him take a picture for them, he would always like cut off their heads or just take a picture of their feet. He was always doing stuff like that. And
the best part of is him and Gorilla on commentary is when he would say something and Gorilla go, "Would you stop?
Will you be serious?
Would you stop?" Gorilla all the time.
Brian and I had one of our old podcasts was called The Gorilla Position.
Yep.
Like 2005 or something like that.
Great name.
And our main, our company, or, whatever, is called Project Humanoid, which we took from Bobby. We've been Bobby Marks for a long time. And we would say things like that, like, will you stop? And,
I'm going to have you thrown out of here.
The humanoids and the ham and eggers.
There's one here I was just looking, because we're looking for a quote. It said, Gorilla Monsoon referring to Cocoa Bear Wear's bird Frankie. Those birds can live to be 20 or 30 years old. Not in my house. Oh, I'm sure. If he was in my house, he'd be in a shake and bake bag. How do you like your parrots? Original or Rice Crispy? And then Gorilla goes, "Would you stop?"
Would you stop?
Yeah.
What would he say with
He called
Tito?
Coco,
Well, Body would always call him Chico Santana.
that was Jesse.
Oh, well, yeah,
That was
Jesse.
Because he always say Ivan Podolsky, too.
Yeah.
The thing with, he would say that Tito was like a cue ball. The harder you hit him, the more English you would get out of him.
Yeah.
There was an Asian job guy, Ricky Ataki, and he said if you beat him, you wanted to wrestle him again an hour later. Stuff he just couldn't get away with today.
Wasn't there like a Reba?
Because it was America the Beautiful.
Right.
WrestleMania 8.
Yeah.
Reba McEntire. sang America the Beautiful, and then the opening match is El Matador, Tito
Shawn
Santana
Michaels.
against Shawn Michaels. And it's like, that's Tito's sister, Reba McEntire.
Reba McEntire. He was hilarious.
Oh, he's
He
so
said
good.
he said Stu Hart trained all of his kids and only 3 of them used the litter box.
Yeah.
What was the name about?
Yeah,
It took 9 months.
because he was making fun of Bruce Hart, and he's like, you had 9 months to come up with a name, and the best you could do was Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh, when they'd show fans and see some ugly girl, like, oh, look at that kisser.
Yeah, and then he'd be on Stu Hart's jacket. Which picture on the which is a bear on the back? He goes, "Oh, look, he's got a jacket. He has a picture of a Helen on his back of his jacket. Isn't that
all
nice?"
of those are from. All of those things about the Harts are from Survivor Series '93. It's the Hart family against Shawn Michaels and his Knights.
Yeah.
Find it on the network. It is one of Bobby Heenan's best commentary.
Who's that? Like Greg Valentine.
Yeah.
and,
It was it was Greg Valentine, Barry Horowitz, and Jeff Gaylord. It's like the
Yeah.
only time Jeff Gaylord ever wrestled in WWF and he was under a mask.
I asked Stu Hart. I said, "Stu, you got to be proud of your boys." He said, "I had boys."
There's a thing like I forget who he's on commentary with, but he's like, if you keep doing this, Stu's going to come over here. He's like, by the time he gets here, the show's going to be over.
Yeah, he's
I don't think there was anybody like to have more wit.
No,
Yeah.
No.
not
Real
even
quick,
close.
too.
And so yeah, he does like AWA. He's managing Bockwinkel. Bockwinkel was like a 4-time world champion, but in the mid '80s he gets the call. It was when I don't know, because you always had WWF system was always you always had 3 managers. There would be like the 3 wise men they would
Yeah.
call them. Like for a while it was Blassie, or not Blassie, it was Albano the Grand Wizard and Blassie. Yeah. And I think it was when Albano left or Albano turned babyface that they
just
brought in
reading
Heenan.
quotes and just laughing over. I'm sorry.
You'll be there for a
Well,
while.
that's funny. There's a picture of Blassie, Grand Wizard, Captain Lou Albano, and Paul E.
Oh wow,
Young Paul E.
Well, yeah.
He's in front of them doing that, and I'm like, all they're missing is Bobby.
Because Paul E, when he was like 15, 16, he would, or 16, he would drive.
Yeah.
He would drive
Yeah.
those guys, and
Yeah.
he would
Talking
take
about Hulk
pictures.
Hogan.
I met Blassie.
No,
I met
wow.
I met Captain Lou Albano like 3 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Talking about Hulk Hogan and pyrotechnics. At least he doesn't have to worry about his hair catching on fire.
When Hogan wrestled Flair in WCW, it was Heenan and Schiavone, and Flair. Somebody threw up the 4 fingers, and he's like, "There's the 4 fingers. That's a sign of the Horseman." And Heenan goes, "When Hogan came out, I held up 1 finger."
Yeah. Well, he just said he's not pointing at anyone. He's showing how high he can count.
The thing with that is, I always believed back then that Hogan and Heenan didn't like each other, and then you find out that they were very like close.
Yeah.
Good friends. Well, that was kayfabe back in the day. You know, like
yeah, you didn't know.
you couldn't sit at the same table.
No, my God, no.
Couldn't. That's why when I was a kid, I must have been like 7, 8 years old. We were driving down I-95, and we look over, and there's a fucking it was Honky Tonk Man in a fucking car, and I'm waving, and he didn't wave back.
Yeah.
And I still hate him to this day.
So Heenan leaves AWA in the late 80s, around 84, 85.
You're just going for it now. You don't even look at your notes.
I don't need to. I was just doing that for dates. So he comes to WWF, and he's the Heenan family, and he has King Kong Bundy as his first big guy. He managed Big John Studd. One of the big things there was a match. It was Andre the Giant and SD Jones against Big John Studd and Bundy. And they jump Andre and they cut his hair. That's when he goes from the afro to like the hair he had later.
Yeah.
And that's just building up to the body slam match at WrestleMania 1, where Heenan's going to give Andre $15,000 if he can beat Big John Studd in the body slam match. But if he loses, Andre has to leave wrestling. And then he just throws all the money out and throws all the money out. So that's WrestleMania 1. And backstage, Heenan said, he's like, here's the WrestleMania 2. Here's the WrestleMania 202. And like Vince is like, WrestleMania 2, okay. And then in WrestleMania 2, Heenan's in the main event. Heenan's in the main event with Bundy against Hogan in a cage. And
Bobby managed like everybody back then.
Hercules Hernandez.
That's when the manager position was very. It was
It was smart. The guy couldn't cut a
coveted.
promo. They put him on the manager.
was
Which they should
there was
do.
a lot of managers. Like,
Yeah.
And even guys who could, like Rude could cut a promo,
Yeah.
but they put him with Bobby, because if you were with Bobby Heenan, you had heat immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I said that to Brian the other day.
I wish it was more.
All right, I was like, they need more, because you know who the best one they have today? Selena Vega.
Yeah,
She's good, yeah.
She's so good.
and Paul Heyman.
Well, he's the advocate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
But there's certain guys who would make great Drake Maverick would make an amazing manager.
Yeah.
I thought Leo Rush was doing a good job as he was annoying.
Bobby Lashley.
He was annoying, but it was fun. That's what a manager should do. Piss you off.
Well, that was too much.
That's X-Pac heat.
I think Drake Maverick is like a Weasley, because again, Bobby Heenan was the Weasel. Like, he would always be called the Brain, but the thing they would call him to, like, kind of deride him was the Weasel.
I didn't like that they took Paul Ellering away from the AOP.
Yeah.
When the AOP was in, I'm sorry, I don't want to get, but when the AOP was in NXT, it was like, what the fuck? When they were Paul Ellering, it was the shit. And then Paul Ellering just like leaves them, and then they put Drake Maverick with it. Didn't make much sense.
And that was terrible.
I forgot they did that, but if you made him like a, not that kind of manager where he's dressed up like them, but if you made him like
a regular manager,
like just in a frilly, like almost just like Lord Alfred Hayes, and just like is this like Weasley guy and cutting promos, I think it would be great. And then WrestleMania 3 is probably the peak. It's at that point the biggest wrestling show ever. It's still one of the most important. And again, Bobby's in the main event. He was the guy that got Andre to turn on Hogan. And he's right there in his corner when Hogan slams a giant, gets the pin. By WrestleMania 4, though, he's wrestling. WrestleMania 4 and 5, he wrestles. WrestleMania 4, he teams with the Islanders to beat the British Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah.
And Coco Beware. And then WrestleMania 5, he loses to the Red Rooster.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. But then by WrestleMania 6, I think at that point, that's when Andre turned.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Yeah,
he slapped the shit at Andre.
He slapped, and then...
Is that when Haku super kicked Andre?
Maybe after that,
but when Andre lost and Heaton was in the corner giving him the business, and he slaps the dog shit out of Andre.
Or is that when Haku turned face?
I don't remember that.
I just said face, and I hate that. By the way, I hate when people say face and not baby face. Drives me crazy.
On the way home, do we have to stop at Aldi's?
I think Aldi's is closed right now.
I just had the conversation with somebody today, by the way. Some fucking girl. I said,
here we go.
I go, Aldi. She goes, you mean Aldi's? I go fuck yourself and listen to my podcast.
We're running long and you're going to set them off. All right.
That's Murder My Dude on Project Humanoid. Bobby Heenan. ProjectHumanoid.com. Go ahead. Tell him,
don't touch me.
Don't touch me. Don't look at me.
So yeah, WrestleMania 6, it's Haku and Andre lose to Demolition, and then Bobby's getting mad at Andre, just slaps the hell out of him, and then Andre slaps him back, and that's kind of the end of Bobby as a manager. His neck was really bad. He wanted to be able to go out there and take bumps because he would bump like a pinball, especially for Hogan. He would just bump like a maniac for Hogan, and so by that summer, he's kind of phased out because he was managing Mr. Perfect, and then they bring in Coach, who's John Tolos.
Yeah.
So I like John Tolos.
And so Heenan at that point,
kind of out of nowhere. That's
because Bobby didn't want to manage him because of his neck, and he exclusively goes to commentary. And at this point, primetime wrestling is in full swing.
That's later. I'm sorry.
Did he have the Beverly? Who did he have?
Just Mr. Perfect.
No, the genius managed Beverly Brothers.
Yeah,
it's just perfect.
The genius.
The genius, Lonnie Poffo.
No.
Well, so Bobby hands over his duties, right?
Yeah, because at that point he was just managing the Barbarian, and
that's when he was pushing a broadcast journalist.
Yeah, he's a broadcast journalist. Yeah, and at that point, because he'd already been doing color with Monsoon on Wrestling Challenge,
right.
Primetime Wrestling. Go back on the network, watch Primetime Wrestling. You can skip most of the matches, but just watch Bobby and Gorilla.
Oh, that's good stuff.
To the point where he got the Bobby Heenan show, but they only did it for 3 weeks, where he did this talk show that was just...
what were the big fat sisters?
The Rosati sisters, the Oinkettes.
Yeah, the Oinkettes. And it was like his band of white big fat girls.
And he had Jameson.
Aren't they with the your team, the football team? Don't you have the Oinkettes?
The Hoggets.
No, we just had the Hogs.
Oh.
The Hoggets.
They're hogs, but they wore dresses.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever.
And
they're losing right now, by the way.
Oh no, you don't say.
Yeah, it's not terrible though.
So then by the end of '93, that's when WCW comes calling, because Bobby's daughter was getting older at that point. I think she was about to start college. He wanted to be closer to her. WCW was offering more money, a lighter schedule, so he makes the jump at '93, and it's very fitting that the guy that throws him out of the WWF is Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
Just grabs him, throws him out.
Out the door, right?
Yeah.
He keeps trying to sneak back in.
Yeah.
Is that when Raw started?
Yeah, so that's
this is a little later. No, you're thinking of something different. When Raw started, Bobby wasn't a part of it. It was Savage, Vince, and
but he
Rob
kept trying to get in the building.
Yeah.
Rob Bartlett.
I loved Rob Bartlett.
We
Everybody
loved- we
hates him.
both
I
loved him.
loved Rob
We both loved
Bartlett.
it because he had it comes with hoagie eating action.
He was just funny. Like I like anybody that's going to be funny. And I mean, he wasn't funny as Bobby, but he was he was pretty funny.
What happened to that guy?
He was a radio guy.
Really?
He was on Don Imus's show.
Wow, I don't know.
And I don't know if they still do that, but he does like plays and stuff like that. He does comedy. Yeah, he was a radio guy.
Like Todd Pettengill, he was a big radio.
Yeah,
guy.
they were both New York radio guys because Vince would listen to Don Imus and he thought Rob Bartlett was funny, so he brought him in.
We would have brought an Irish.
Mobile worms coming from.
There's a good match on the ranch right here. Well,
See-
dude, as we all take Don Imus. Is he dead?
No,
Is he
no,
still
he's-
alive?
Hold on, I need to do my Don Imus. Nap. Never mind. I'm
Oh,
going to
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, we
Christmas.
get kicked off of here. I'll have you thrown out of here.
Would you stop?
Will you be serious? And so yeah, he winds up in WCW after that as a commentator. Very briefly, he came back for one more time as a manager. And it was Great American Bash when they did Ric Flair and Arn Anderson against Mongo McMichael and Kevin Green. And it was when Mongo turned heel. And Randy Savage was in their corner, in the football players' corner. And you had Bobby Heenan. He was the coach. He wasn't the manager, but that was the last time he was there at ringside. And then
he didn't want to call himself a
manager, yeah. And then the WCW thing comes to an end, and he comes.
And at the end, he just wants out of there.
Yeah, he's phoning it in. He's drinking on the job, and and
like they said, what's Road Wild or Hog Wild, where they claim that he's the hammered for the show.
Oh God, yeah. And then he wound up getting fired even before WCW closed, and right away WWF.
That's sad when you have to fire Bobby the
I
Brain.
know,
Yeah.
like, Jesus.
You know.
I mean, his references were getting a little dated. He wasn't as sharp as he was. He was still Bobby Heenan, but he wasn't as sharp as he was. And then one of the great things is right after WCW closes, the Gimmick Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
17.
funny because you said about how by the time he reused that that Hart thing,
the Iron Sheik,
Stu Hart, when the Iron Sheik was coming out, he's like, by the time you get, it'll be wrestling, whatever.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 38, which is coming up.
Yeah.
It's
That's
coming up in
funny.
like 2 years.
Iron Sheik will still be around for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They should have him come out.
yeah, I'm here.
I finally made it to the ring.
I made it, Bobby.
Fuck the
Oh.
Ted
God,
DiBiase.
Iron Sheik and Undertaker will make it to the ring.
There you go.
So yeah, he comes back with Okerlund, and I love the Paul Heyman send off because Heyman was commentating that man. He's like, the greatest manager except for me,
Except for
the
me.
greatest announcer except for me. And Jim Ross just goes, except for you. So great. And then
I love the Gimmick Battle Royal.
and then shortly
so
after
did
that,
I.
Yeah.
it was awesome. The only thing I didn't like is my favorite got thrown out like right away.
Repo Man.
Repo
I was
Man.
going to tugboat.
Has he worn his Repo shirt
I
here?
wore it last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
okay.
won like two or three times.
Repo Man.
That's how. By the way, this isn't like it's not a joke.
I unironically love he
No,
was
no, no.
so over the
he
top.
had the fucking Repo Man action figure.
I had it too.
Dude, like no, I'm talking like as an adult.
Do you remember when what was his name? About Adam Pearce was doing the Repo
Yeah,
Man thing in
yeah.
ROH,
Yeah,
and
they
he'd
would
just
just
go
chant-
under the ring and he'd go back.
Because everybody would chant Repo Man at
Yeah.
him because he looked like Barry Darso.
And he
had
put the mask on
domino
and do
mask,
like
yeah.
2 spots. And it's so awesome.
Didn't we see him and Cesaro wrestle? Yeah,
Did we?
yeah,
I know he wrestled a couple people.
yeah.
Former NWA World
that
Champion.
was the
Yeah.
day that Kevin Steen fucking bumped into you or pushed you out of the way.
Well,
or
he was
whatever.
like asked me to move. Yeah.
His name and Generico.
It was the first pay-per-view Ring of Honor did when they were doing the pre-taped
Okay.
ones. It was at the Manhattan Center. We're up on the stage.
We lived
'Cause-
up in New York
Yeah,
at that time.
Oh.
and
Okay.
it was a general admission seating, and we're standing because there's something going on in the ring, and I feel somebody like tap me on the shoulder because I was on the edge of the aisle,
Yeah.
and I look back and it's Kevin Steen. I'm like, oh, Kevin Steen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could I get through?
I think that's when Claudio just came back.
Yeah.
from WWF. He was or WWE.
When he had the, yeah,
Visa
the short-
issues or
yeah,
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, and then he just came back.
I think it was teaming with Matt Sydal or something.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
sure at
forget,
that
yeah.
point though he wrestled Repo Man.
Did he?
Yeah.
So where are we at with the Heathen?
So shortly after that Gimmick Battle Royal appearance, he was apparently upset that they didn't offer him a full-time commentary job.
Which they should have.
Yeah. He did the Women of Wrestling pay-per-view. That Women of Wrestling was back now on Access. They did one pay-per-view back then. And the commentary team was Heenan and Lee Marshall.
No, I like Lee Marshall.
The late Lee Marshall,
It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, the voice of Tony the Tiger.
Yeah. And so that was the last time he really did any kind of full-time commentary. Shortly after that is when he first had the cancer thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't take the full jaw, but they did an operation. And he did have a little bit of a lispy voice. At that point, it wasn't the same voice, and that's when he did the Legends of Wrestling video game.
Okay.
And he did one match with TNA. It was like a baseball themed match. I think they had a baseball player. It was when they had the diamonds in the rough. It was like Simon Diamond. I think David Young wrestled somebody.
Had Dasher Hatfield come out.
Yeah.
This is when he was Ultimo Breakfast, I think,
Oh, okay.
or Mooscow, the communist bovine.
Oh yeah.
So that was kind of the end, and then, as we said earlier, it kind of had that sad end where for a while it was.
But they put him in the Hall of Fame around that time.
Yeah.
And then he did have the DVD for it. It was really good for him.
Yeah, the DVD. The Hall of Fame was at WrestleMania 20. Yeah, because that was after the cancer thing, because he had a lisp at that point. And it was so sad because he was like saying, "I wish Monsoon was here" when he went to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And
That was his buddy.
they did the commentary skit, or they did a skit on WrestleMania 20 that year where him and Okerlund in the back, and like they're just kind of being like secretive about this room they're standing by, and then they open the door and it's Moolah and Mae Young.
Yeah, and they're making out.
Yeah, and they're like trying to pull him back in, and Okerlund goes in, and Heenan's trying to fight and struggle to get out, and they're pulling him in, and he goes, "I haven't been well." Just so great. The funniest person to ever be involved in
my
wrestling.
mom really liked it when I watched
He's
wrestling
so
as a kid.
good.
She's like, I like that Bobby Heenan.
Speaking of Gorilla Monsoon, we were at WrestleMania, 99?
Yeah.
And Monsoon was there.
It was right before he died.
Oh,
like a
he
couple
looked
months
terrible.
He
before.
was real skinny.
Yeah.
He was a judge in the Brawl for All.
He was in a wheelchair at one point, wasn't he?
And it,
He may have been, but not at this point.
I didn't know what it was wrong. I think it was diabetes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like very big complications.
I remember there was a skit on Raw where somebody proposed to his girlfriend, and I think he said
It
his
was Green Lantern fan, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so.
Wow. And I think
Shocking he has a girlfriend.
Didn't he make fun of it, saying like, "Oh, one of you are marrying each other because no one's gonna want to date either one of you or something like that"?
Yeah.
Or
He would always.
yeah,
Nobody was safe when Bobby Heenan was out there.
he was a treasure. Back to back weeks, man. Two people that definitely will live on in wrestling legacy with Heenan and Owen Hart, man. Anything else closing you want to add with them?
No, I think we covered it all. Just I think the best tribute you can do to Bobby Heenan is what we kind of did, where we're just freestyling all the great jokes he
Just
did.
go on YouTube and type Bobby Heenan clips or one
Is there any stories from the book that you can quick give us that stick out?
He has all these different stories about like different things they would do and like jokes they would pull, like people he managed. He managed Hercules Hernandez, who was in like Power and Glory, did a lot of things, and they were in an airport once, and they were in one of those covered things to wait for a shuttle. And there was a button because there was like a vent there, and it said "push for heat." And Hercules Hernandez just goes to this woman who knows nothing about wrestling and goes, "What happens if you push that? Somebody comes out and pulls the tights." He had a thing with Bundy when he was managing Bundy, where they went to this cameraman's house, and he was like, "Well, what does Bundy like? What does he want to eat? What does he want to eat?" And just for no reason, he goes, "Bundy loves Cornish hens," and Bundy comes and they have like 6 Cornish hens laid out for him. He had a ham sandwich and went home.
Bobby loved to rib people.
Yeah.
And not like vicious ribs, like Mr. Fuji ribs.
No,
but
he would do like Owen Hart type ribs.
Yeah. Just very goofy, very lighthearted, especially if he likes somebody. And,
Was Owen's last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Talk about like, 2 weeks in a row. We're talking about 2 fucking guys that love to rib people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Owen Hart was in on it. I know the Click was in on it, but Owen Hart probably had something to do with when they shaved X-Pac's eyebrows off right before he had to get his pictures taken for his action figure. So if you ever bought the 1-2-3 Kid action figures,
He has no eyebrows.
He has no eyebrows in the box because the night
funny.
before he had to go get all of his photos for his promo stuff, they shaved his eyebrows off, or they shaved one off.
I remember,
and then
he
and
got
then
rid-
he shaved off the second one.
They couldn't just like
No.
ink
Draw-
some
yeah,
in.
draw one on
They
for him.
draws- Yeah.
Nope.
Before the Photoshop, where they could just took it, flipped it, and boop.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's great stuff. But we'll end it on that note. Andy, you got anything to... we talked a little bit about what you want to plug.
Yeah, well, yeah, the ACW at Club Reverb in Reading tomorrow night, Friday, taking on
And
Facade.
that's you and Facade. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
man.
it should be pretty good. Yeah,
calling it in the Power Ring. Don't forget that, too.
Yeah, calling the Power Ring. Sure, maybe we'll get to record tomorrow, and then Saturday's the big tag team tournament, Road for the Gold at Backbreakers. Which
Nice.
Gilbert
I'm bummed I'm going to
in
miss
Mayfield,
it.
PA.
I'm bummed I'm going to miss it. We're going to have like a little
That's big weekend for me.
party at the house here. But I'll definitely I'm going to get out to Backbreakers. I want to thank Backbreakers again real quick for for definitely putting us over and plugging us and putting us out there.
Justin Gloyer, owner.
It was a lot of fun.
Trainer.
A lot of fun having those two on.
Brad DeMaio and Trajan Horn for calling in.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. What do you guys got to plug?
Well, this candle right here smells delicious.
Yeah, this is Tutti fucking Fruity.
Whoa. By Ukulele, right? No, it's what's their...
Tiny Tim was
the main company's Loki and Layla candles.
Yeah.
It's a local company that makes that candle.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But
It does smell good.
I was thinking,
But this is
Tiptoe through the tulips because you said ukulele.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but this is the candle for obviously Captain Spaulding, the Tutti fucking Fruity.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to. I don't know. I guess plug Murder My Dude.
Yeah.
It's a little
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a little show that's in out of Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's a show.
Go to Project Humanoid.
It's the shit. So you think he's getting worse and worse?
Yeah.
It's
Latest episode just came out.
Yeah, it came out this morning. It's about Project Miranda. Leonard Lake and Charles Ng. We had our buddy Nate on, who was on a show a couple weeks back.
He's a Marine.
Yeah.
And so were these two, and very bad men.
Nate too. Yeah.
Nate's a very bad man.
Bad man.
Nate's wife actually.
I'm a bad man.
Yeah. So Nate's wife today is at a gym in Kansas City. And right next to her on the bike, working out, Daniel Bryan.
Really? Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, she sent me. He sent me a video that she sent him.
I would have started moaning. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
But yeah, you can find Murder My Dude, projecthumanoid.com. You still have a little bit of time if you want to go to the shop, get a shirt, get a cup.
Why not?
Get a button, get free shipping, promo code OCT31, all caps. But yeah, we have a new episode this week, new episodes every Thursday morning. Project Miranda, very funny show. We kind of got on some crazy tangents, but that's what we do. That's what we do on Murder My Dude.
Seems to be. I think it carries over to both shows.
Thanks a lot, Tony.
Well, we do it too. We go on tangents. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Go check those guys out. And like I said, if you guys want to support us as well, links are below, as well as everything we talked about. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Boom, boom, boom.